Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Cristiano Ronaldo becomes the highest goal-scoring international football player of all time with 111 goals after a brace against the Republic of Ireland last night. He's also the highest goal-scoring football player ever, the highest Champions League goal-scoring football player ever, umpteen Champions League, umpteen Ballon d'Ors, league titles, brand new straight teeth, an immaculate body, and a wonderful looking family to boot. Cristiano Ronaldo is being deemed as one of the greatest players of all time, but the debate trottles on. Who is the GOAT? Who is the GOAT? Everybody has their individual say, but what we're doing this evening is we're going to have a wonderful panel of guests to debate this. We've got an amazing array of football players to go through and to tier. And of course, you can super chat in and give us your views and opinions on who you think deserves to be the GOAT. There's an abundance of talent there. We're also going to touch on who we think some of the future GOATs could be. The Haalands, the Mbappes, the Kai Havertz. Who could make it to that level over the next 10 years? The tiering system is there, as you can see. We've got one person available for GOAT only. Only 6 legends. Only 8 players can be placed tonight into greatness. We've got the future GOAT category. We're going to change the color of that in a second, actually, so it's a bit more protruded. We've got underrated, overrated, and in the bin. That's for if a player should not even be in this conversation whatsoever. I'm going to bring the panel out now to have their say, but what I need from you is for you to smash the living daylights out of that like button right about now. We will open up a book. So any super chats that come in before we've placed all of our people, we will ensure we keep that book there so that we respect your super chat. We've already had one come in straight away saying Pele is the GOAT. There's $5 straight away on Pele being the GOAT. Thank you very, very much for that. I don't know why there, that's better. It's a little bit cleaner. I don't like that big bubble looking effect. Already a super chat in there. We're going to keep it coming. It's going to be a great conversation tonight. Let me introduce you to the panel without any further ado. Back by popular demand, he's becoming a regular on the terrace. It's Don Hussam. He's here. He's ready. He's already mentioned Gerrard might be a contender for the GOAT a little bit early on. Speaking of Liverpool fans, we've got the smallest. Tom Little is here with us. Tom Thumb, Stuart Little Tom's there, the sad Scouser. He's just about recovered after that terrible transfer window, as you can see. He's ready. He's probably going to put Gerrard in the GOAT as well. Gerrard or, I don't know, Jordan Henderson. David's in the house. You can rest assured David is not going to big up a single Chelsea player tonight. He never bigs up Chelsea players. He's the most self-loathing Chelsea fan in the history of Chelsea fans. Speaking of strange Chelsea fan, this guy says he's a complicated Chelsea fan. That basically means he only supports them when they're winning. He's here. He's got no hair. The sunglasses are on. Have Hope is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of hair, this man has no hair, can barely grow a beard. My next guest has the thickest head of hair you can come across. He has one of the best beards on social media. Now a star of Don Robbie's show, as well as his own channel, Neek Sports. Man like Neek's in the house doing his thing. Evening, gentlemen. How are we all?
I'm good.
All Gucci, all Gucci.
Ronaldo's back.
Very good, very good. Ready to go, man.
I have to just say, before we go into the tiering, like last night, what I loved about what Ronaldo did, he just shut everybody down. Pinaldo, can't do it in open play. And he didn't just score 2 goals last night. He scored 2 goals from terrible crosses because he can jump about 9 foot in the air. This guy is winning Man United the Premier League. He's going to score 30 plus goals this season. He's going to shut Have Hope down. It's honestly this is the best signing ever.
So Lithuania, Greenland, Baghdad, Alaska, basically are in the Premier. Because if Alaska, Baghdad, Gotham City, and Krypton are in the Premier League, then man, Cristiano is going to start up. So I'm saying those are his teams, man.
Brother,
how many goals in World Cup knockouts for Cristiano?
We'll get onto that later. We're definitely going to do that later on the terrace. Remember, if you're watching, you want to get your friends involved, share the link with them now, get them on the terrace to come on and have their say. But we are going to jump into this without any further ado. We know the rules. I pick the player and I give it to the panelists to come on and have their say. I don't know where David's gone. He seems to have disappeared. I do have a substitute ready. I didn't tell this guy he was a substitute because I'm terrible for things like that. But I'm going to send him the link now. Man like Ziad, if you're watching, bro, David's internet is lacking. So I'm going to make an early substitution. David's out, Ziad in. We've got to get that right. I'm sad for David. We might be able to get him back on a little bit later. But there we go. Right. First person I'm going to go to. First tiering show is done. Don Hussam. I'm going to go to you. And who I'm going to pick? Who am I going to pick for you is a big question. I'm going to throw you one straight away. This will be an interesting one. Robert Lewandowski. Robert Lewandowski.
Robert Lewandowski. This is a tough one because he's definitely not the GOAT. And the tier below that, I think, is already stacked as well. So I don't know even if he gets into great. Like, it's just this is a tough one, bro. There are so many players in football. I think even in this generation, you'd probably go Suarez. You'd go who are the other strikers? You'd go bold Ronaldo before him. So he isn't even the greatest striker of this generation.
His name is Ronaldo. He's not called. His name is called Ronaldo. There's Cristiano, then there's Ronaldo.
R9.
Don't call him bold
R9.
Ronaldo.
I'll just say R9. The real R9, not the fake one that Chelsea have. So I just don't know with Lewandowski. That's a very tough one to start with. I'm gonna go. This might shock a few people. I'm gonna go overrated for Lewandowski.
What?
I think.
What?
I listen. I think Lewandowski is not a man of the big moment. He has shown this time and time again. When the big lights are on, when everyone's watching, I don't think he turns up as much. It's all amazing scoring super hat-tricks against Frankfurt, but in the big games, he's not
who scored 4 goals in the UCL semi against Real Madrid in 2012?
I was literally about to say,
Listen, that's a one-off.
Lewandowski showed up, sent Dortmund to the final, and then they lost to a Robin scuff. But
he didn't score in the final.
Yeah, but he won in the semi. He scored 4 in the semi.
No, you're mad. Overrated.
The thing is, look at how many players we still have to get through. Messi, Ronaldo, bold R9, Suarez, so many players.
My dear friend, no, I think you're mixing up Lewandowski with Gerrard. See, Gerrard, that's overrated.
No.
I think you're mixing them up. You're mixing them up.
Gerrard gets into great minimum.
One second, guys. Yes, Nix.
How many people can go into great?
Great, you can have up to 8 people. So again, and what we got to remember, we're doing here, viewers. We're not saying they're bad. If you can be in the bin but not bad, a bad player. We are literally tiering the greatest football players in living memory that we can think of. So if you're not in legends or great, you might be in the bin, but it doesn't mean you're a rubbish football player. You can go in overrated or underrated as well. But you also just might not be in the conversation to be in. Basically, we're doing the top 14 football players. Sorry, 15 players of all time. So if you're not in that, it's not an embarrassment. But that's where Hussam has so far placed Robert Lewandowski in overrated. Original base Annie here says inject Neeks, Terry, and HH. Oga. Who's Oga? You.
It's a Nigerian saying for big man.
Okay.
Of the house.
What's the reverse of that then for little man? Little man hates.
No. He says and Oga, the man of the house, the side of the house. Oga HH.
Bringing me Fan Park Life vibes. Hashtag Johan, can you capture this? Can you please move the Polski gunman up 1, please? So straight away, super chat in there to move Robert Lewandowski straight into underrated. The viewers are not having it. Remember, if you're new to the football terrace, when we do our tiering systems, you can super chat someone up and down one category for £5, £20 to move them anywhere. If you want to create a brand new tiering system, it's £50. The reason for them prices isn't me. I didn't set them. You, the viewers, did on one of our very first ranking shows. We're just paying homage to the super chatters, which are essentially donators to the football terrace that support us and keep us going. It's what they set as the prices. So I can't let you do it for cheaper than someone else in the past. So thank you very much indeed. If Lewandowski played for Liverpool, then Hassan, he called you Hassan. Hassan would have put him in God category. Lewandowski overrated. What football are you?
It's craziness. It's crazy.
We're gonna move on to the next one. I'm gonna go to David now, and David, I'm gonna give you Yaya Toure.
I probably had the greatest single season of a midfielder in the Premier League. But
also remember, he's very emotional, man. Because remember when they didn't give him his birthday cake, man. So he's very emotional.
That's very true, very true. But I feel like he's underrated. I've put him there. And I don't think he's overrated because I don't think many people rate him particularly highly. But I think he's one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. He's not a GOAT though. Like, put him there. So yeah, underrated.
I think underrated for him is pretty fair. He never gets mentioned in the same breath as Premier League greats. And he should. I think that's a Man City thing. I don't think it's anything other than Man City. If he'd have done what he did for Man United, for Liverpool, for Chelsea, I just think because more fans will be talking about it. Even the TV channels, they don't speak about the City guys as much because no one's watching. And I'm not even being harsh. I just think that's the truth when it comes to that. So there we go. Tom Little, to you next. And I'm giving you, this will be a controversial one early on. Ozil. Where are you placing Ozil?
I'm putting him in the bin. I mean,
whoa, the heck?
I knew you was doing that.
He's either in the bin or overrated. I mean, he came into Arsenal. He was good at Real Madrid, but everyone's good at Real Madrid. He was a good player at Real Madrid, and then he came to Arsenal, and they had all the expectations on him to be the main man to carry them forwards. And he had 2 good seasons, didn't take them to where they wanted to go, got pushed out on a free, and he's, how old is he now? 31? 31, and he's in Turkey. Some of the players he was playing with are older than him and still at the top level. He's had such dramatic fall off. That's what will go against him in this.
I mean, you do make a good point. Early 30s finished. I mean, that's and we do, viewers, we have to get very, very critical tonight because we're basically placing who we think are the top 15 players of all time. Longevity. I haven't set a criteria because I want to hear what people's are, but longevity, of course, has to play a big part. So right now, Arsenal fans, Real Madrid fans, Ozil is being placed in the bin, completely out of the conversation right now of GOAT, legend, or greatness. Next, I'm going to go to Neeks, and I'm going to give Neeks Frank Lampard.
Frank Lampard. Very good player. Very good player. Frank Lampard, in terms of this list, I have to say he's overrated. Because the fact that there was even a debate about Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes, and that existed for so long, I think is disrespectful to Gerrard and Scholes. And I think it's a propaganda that's been pushed by Chelsea fans, as it should, because it's your player. But Chelsea fans have a very, as you've probably seen now on social media, they have a very good way of overstating their players, even ones who have barely played for their club. Of course, Lampard is a Chelsea legend. His goal scoring record speaks for itself. In modern day football, people will be calling him, I don't know, Penpard or something like that, because he scored a hell of a lot of penalties. So it's funny how narrative does change. But I think he's a good technical player. He's a consistent player. But if we're talking ability and even impact at the highest level, so I'm talking like even the international football, he should never have been in that midfield with Gerrard. He should never have been. He should have been an impact off the bench, and those better English players to play with. So on this list, I'm going to say overrated. Of course, overall, he's a very good player, but he's not a great when we're talking about greatest of all time, of all eras, across all positions.
David, 274 career club goals for Frank Lampard. He won every trophy domestically that he could have done. Overrated. Is that a fair category, in your opinion, to place Lampard into?
And he almost got Chelsea.
I mean, I don't think so. I'm again in the same way we had to separate Lampard manager and Lampard coach. I mean, Lampard manager and Lampard player is the same thing we're going to do here. So I ain't going to think about the manager bit because he was awful as a manager, but as a player, he was fantastic. And I mean, it depends where the others go, but I'd say he's in the wrong thing personally, because unless you give me Gerrard, I think he's going to end up higher, and I don't think that's fair when you talk about this conversation. Yeah.
So where would you place him?
Wait, can I see the categories first before I say anything too mental? And I put him in the top 15. I just think he goes in underrated. I just feel like that's where he goes.
Underrated?
I don't think he's because I don't think he's overrated, and I don't think
Put him
he's
in
a
the
top.
bin then. He shouldn't be in the conversation.
No, but I don't think he's a top 15 player either. But I don't think he's overrated. I think he's underrated because the only people who seem to rate him are Chelsea fans.
Well, all the England managers did, and that's why they couldn't get past the bloody quarterfinals.
Well, there are many reasons for that. Half the team
one of them
show up.
Well,
Gerrard wasn't the reason. That's all I know.
ladies and gentlemen, we of course will get into this a little bit more. You get the chance to move that around, but Neeks has put his vote in, and that is where Lampard sits as of now. So that's where he is right now. Next, I'm going to go to Have Hope, and Have Hope, I'm going to give you Paul Scholes.
No, this is easy. He is underrated. Because I think when people talk about, again, just as Nick said, they will say, okay, Lampard, Scholes, Gerrard. And I think a lot of people seem to put Lampard and Gerrard ahead based off of like their goals, their big moments and so forth. But anybody who's played football, anybody who watches football, and also specifically anybody who's played midfield will know just how technically gifted Scholes was. And Scholes was just technically the superior he was just technically a superior footballer to both Lampard and Gerrard. And the very fact that Javi and people, basically, all that you need to know is that all the Barcelona guys said that the only English player who could work well and fit into a very intricate system is Scholes. Like Lampard and Scholes couldn't fit into that peak Barca system, but Scholes could fit into that very intricate passing system that Barca had very well. So yeah, I think maybe, and especially in England, I think he's more appreciated outside of England than he is within England. So
yeah, I agree with that last statement, especially. I mean, I would still be putting him towards great or legend, and that's based on the fact that everybody. I remember that. Do you remember that day? You remember that early conversation that Neville and Jamie Carragher had?
Wait, legend.
Yeah, and I tell you, that's just I can't move him. It's your choice. He's been put where he's been put. We get a trump card at the end each, so maybe I'll use it then. I'll see what else is being said. But I remember that conversation that Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville had, when they were debating who the best England player was, and Carragher was just saying Gerrard because he's his friend. And then like you kind of saw the characters break for a second, and Gary's like, literally, I've heard you in all these other interviews talk about the best player that like whenever when you were at training, the best guy, the best technician, everything was Paul Scholes. So how is Gerrard the better player? And like Carragher had to try and backtrack. Everyone who's played with Scholes plays against Scholes. All the greats that are on this list say Paul Scholes is just the greatest. Zidane, what's it like being the greatest midfielder of all time? I don't know. Speak to Paul Scholes. And it's, for me, no other English player I've ever seen has had that level of praise placed upon them by the very best of the best. So you put him in underrated, and I actually think to a degree you're right, because he gets a lot of disrespect because he wasn't scoring goals at the same rate as Lampard's. But where I always fight for Paul Scholes is in this way. When Lampard was 38 years old and when Gerrard was 38 years old, they were not dominating Premier League midfields and winning Premier League titles. They were playing in America or they were retired. That's the end of the debate for me, is why Paul Scholes goes above them. But get your views and opinions in, people, on that. Next up, we're going back to David here. And David, we're going to complete the set, David, and we're giving you Steven Gerrard.
Oh my God.
Muted.
You're on mute, David.
You're on mute.
I'm not sure if you read my lips, but I said put him in the bin.
Oh,
bad.
wow.
I'm sorry. When it comes to these conversations, a big thing for me is trophies. You cannot be in one league for your whole career and not win the league. It can't happen. I'm sorry. I don't care. I do not care. Oh my God, Liverpool had bad teams. I don't care. If you're one of the best in every single league in the world, no matter what the sport is, the best players always win their league all the time. So how this guy gets a pass, I do not know. Put him in the bin.
David, let me check this here real quick.
He's in the bin or overrated.
If you put Frank Lampard, or less so Paul Scholes, but if you put Frank Lampard especially in the Liverpool teams that Gerrard was in, do you think Frank Lampard wins them a Premier League?
Hypothetical. It's one. It's hypothetical. Two,
David, you do realize there are greats of football who haven't won certain trophies.
Did Frank Lampard single-handedly cost his team a title? No, he did not.
Did Frank Lampard single-handedly win his team a trophy?
You had one season. There was one season when you were absolutely the front runners, and Jose Mourinho came to the gaff, and you let Demba Ba score against you, and he fell over.
I've heard this so many times. Listen. I just want to say one thing. We're not doing tier list for boxing or tennis. This is a team sport. So it's not, Gerrard did not clone 11 of himself and play against Chelsea that game. The back five was Mignolet, John Flanagan, Sacco, Skirtle, Kolo Toure, Ali Sissoko, Glenn Johnson. Tell me, if we put Messi, Suarez, Neymar ahead of them, they're still not winning the league. So let's just be realistic. That back five was not winning the league. We lost the league against Crystal Palace the week after. We were 3-0 up. Did Gerrard slip 3 times to concede 3 goals? That did not happen. Gerrard individually, whether you guys like it or not, is more accomplished than both. Gerrard is in the Champions League all-time 11 next to Xavi and Iniesta. Gerrard got nominated for the Ballon d'Or Dream Team of all times ever since football started. He was nominated for the midfield position. And you're out here putting both Lampard and Scholes above him, which is a total joke, bro. Because next up, so when we go to R9, I'm going to go like, listen, he's in the bin. He never won the Champions League. Ibrahimovic in the bin. He never won the Champions League. He
won the UEFA Cup.
Cantona in the bin. He never won the Champions League. I can go on and on and on. Maxwell is the best left back ever. He won so many titles. Let's just,
No. But just know this. Let me just push back on what David said. Look, I mean, I think it is true. The whole league thing does count against him. The fact that you were in a league for so long and not able to win it. But David, man, I told you, man, I still speak fluent UCL. And I want to, and trust me, I want to count against this. What this guy did in 05, specifically in that final, because, and these are just facts. Look at that AC Milan team and look at that Liverpool team. And look, if you're 3-0 down against a team like that, probably one of the most stout teams I've ever seen, and you make it 3-1, you win the penalty that then makes it 3-3, and then you then play what's left back throughout the whole thing. Bro, just for that alone, you can't put him in the bin. Like what he did as an individual against that team, I'm sorry.
I totally get where you're all coming from. Either way, we could spend a month on one player. It's where David gets his vote. It's where David's put in viewers. We all get a trump card later on, so we can move people. And of course, viewers, you can get yourselves in. You can move your players around and do what it is you need to do. In terms of category, we haven't put a category in because it will take us an hour to debate a category out. Of course, trophies counts, but you have to look at all trophies. World Cups, Euros, Copa Americas, Champions Leagues. You know, some of these players, their era, things like the UEFA Cups and Cup Winners' Cups were massive in certain eras. They should not be discounted. We cannot allow bad education of football to dictate that. They all count as an example. So all trophies count towards it. It's your opinions that we want here. That is where we currently have him. Gerrard and Ozil are currently being put in the bin. Hassan, we're back with you next, my friend. We're going to go to you, and I'm going to we're going to go for some older school players here, or longer in the tooth. Alan Shearer. Where would you place Alan Shearer?
Alan Shearer, I think, is probably top 5 strikers of the Premier League era. I think he's a very, very good striker. Obviously, I think the younger heads might not really know him like that, but I think he was very good in the air. He was very good as a finisher as well. Very underrated as well in terms of a striker, because people usually mention like the Henrys of this world, like and don't really mention Shearer alongside them. So I think with Shearer, I'm going to go underrated. I think Alan Shearer definitely is an underrated striker, 100%.
Okay, Tom, with you next, I'm going to give you Didier Drogba.
In the bin, Tom.
Very carefully.
Do the right thing, Tom.
Probably, I will jump out of this screen up there, and I will virtually.
Tom, do the right thing, Tom. Do the right thing. Don't let us down.
Well, straight away, we all know he's not going in top 3. I think we can all agree on that. It's just underrated or overrated, because he was one of the most clutch players I've ever seen. When you think of Drogba, you think of finals. They were where he turned up, but he also wasn't exactly a groundbreaking striker in the league. there weren't many seasons where you'd sit there and go, he was getting 25, 30 goals like some of the others. But I'll put him in underrated because I rate clutch over everything else. And you can rattle off final goals, rattle off big game goals. I mean, Champions League final speaks for itself.
I'm so disappointed in you, bro.
How many African Nations Cups did he win?
Oh, Nix, relax, man. Damn, the guy has already spoken, man.
Soon as Drogba retired, Ivory Coast won the African
You don't need to speak on that. You don't need to speak on that. You don't need to speak on that, man.
We have a super chat here from Lamar that says Scholes never received a Ballon d'Or vote in his whole career. Gerrard 6, Lampard 4 times. Gerrard has never won the Prem. Gerrard and Lampard was the best miss at
I think it means
midfield at one point. Scholes was never at.
But according to who though? It's like, I mean, it's like no. Oh.
But what I would say is this though. What I would say is shout out there to David. We love you, David. Is the username?
Oh wow, that's his username. God, David, man, you have fun. See, why don't guys love me like this?
Oh no, I'm hated.
I'm sure there'll be a
no, David, don't give that.
Daddy should have given me Drogba.
I'm sure there'll be a super chat bigging you up really soon, brother. I would say this right about the thing. Steven Gerrard would swap every individual player. This is how you know player awards count less than winning trophies. If you sat Gerrard in a room now to give back every PFA, every team of the year, every sports writers trophy, every man of the match, every player of the month, every Ballon d'Or vote for one Premier League title, he'd swap it tomorrow. He'd swap it tomorrow. Let alone 13. Like he'd swap it tomorrow for all them things. So I get as an individual player, it's there, but trophies really matter. Trophies really. The irony in it is, have you all watched the Ronaldo documentary that BBC put out?
No.
And you've got to watch it. It's on the iPlayer. It's even more beautiful now he's back, right? I watched it last night, and Rio just speaks about how Ronaldo wanted to be the best player, and he was selfish in that he wanted to be the best player, but he knew there was no way he was ever going to be seen as the greatest ever football player if he didn't have a plethora of trophies behind him. He knew he couldn't win the Ballon d'Or without those plethora of trophies. It was almost the two things working hand in glove. So, of course, trophies matter. We have a super chat here that says Drogba flopped in 2 AFCON finals, missed penalties in both. How much how is he most clutch? Flopped for the Ivory Coast golden generation. Good but not great is what's being said.
Look, man, 2012. That's the answer. That's the answer for everything. 2012 and move on. 2012 full stop.
Have hope. You better not put Zidane as the GOAT. We'll get
Eric, can you just watch the show and enjoy the show? Watch the show. Relax.
If you're saying Gerrard because of the Champions League final that he should be higher, that means Drogba must be amazing because the finals were.
I'm just saying. I mean, yeah.
Hey,
if I can use that argument for Gerrard, the only players who have ever scored in UCL, Europa League, League Cup, and FA Cup final and win them all.
There we go.
Okay, I don't think Drogba played in Europa League.
I'm back with Neeks now. Buffon.
The geriatric who refuses to retire.
Buffon he's wow. Like I play a number of positions, depending on the quality of players that I'm playing with when I play football. Goalkeeper's actually one, and the likes of Schmeichel and Buffon are keepers that I've watched a lot. Compilations, people that you can watch goalkeeper compilations as well. It's not just skills and tricks. He went for a world record fee for a goalkeeper, which stood for ages, probably up until Kepa. I'm not 100% sure.
I think it stood until Edison, and then it got.
Oh, until Edison, okay. That. And that was like in 1999 or early 2000s when he moved from Parma to Juventus. He is probably the greatest goalkeeper, definitely of our generation. I would argue the greatest goalkeeper of all time. I'm sure there's others before my time.
Greater than Neuer?
Yeah.
No.
I would.
Hell no.
I would put him there. And I know he hasn't. I put him above everyone. So any goalkeeper you name, I'm putting Buffon there.
Not above Neuer. Hell no.
Now, of course, he hasn't got the Champions League like everyone so wanted. But how important he was to Italy actually winning 2006. I know Cannavaro won the Ballon d'Or that year, and I think he won La Liga with Real Madrid in 2006 as well, I believe it was. But Buffon, he doesn't make that save against Adrian Mutu against Romania in the group stage. Italy don't even get out of the group, let alone go and win the World Cup in 2006. He is an all-time great, but he's not the greatest of all time. I wouldn't put him up in that list. But
So you want to put him in great?
I would put him. I would put him in the second category down because I put him as the greatest legend. Yeah, legend has to be a legend because we're talking about all positions, but because he's, for me, the greatest goalkeeper in my lifetime, I have to put him as a legend. When you talk about legends, then Buffon's, he's right up there. He's right up there.
You should have put him in the bin.
Who made the
He didn't win
mistake in
the
that game
Champions
against?
League. You should have put him in the bin.
But he won the World Cup, and the World Cup's the highest ever, the highest level of football.
But who made that mistake in Paris when United beat?
How old was he?
With who?
How old was he? 92.
Yeah.
Is it my problem that a geriatric refuses to retire? So we have to judge him based on his whole career. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
I'm judging on his whole career. You're singling it down to one moment.
Yes.
There we go. Buffon has been placed. David, I'm coming back to you next, and I'm going to give you Sir Bobby Charlton.
I don't know anything about Bobby Charlton.
But you're
Yeah, but he won. I know he won the World Cup for England.
He didn't just win the World Cup for England. Did a lot more. I'll leave that to somebody else and that's got proper football knowledge. I'm going to give you Robin van Persie.
I'll throw him in the bin. I could care less. I think it's funny what he did from Arsenal to Man United, and then they clapped. Arsenal are mugs, you know. This guy left them and then clapped him on the field after they won the league. I could never do that. Never in my life. It's funny, but like, he's a great striker, but he's just not up there. He isn't, unfortunately. Like, he's not even the Netherlands' greatest ever striker. So, yeah. I mean,
and that's it. We've got to be really, really strict with this. Next, I'm going to go back to Tom, and I'm going to give you Karim Benzema.
I'll win the bin. He's a good striker, but we're dealing with, when you come into this, the best of the best. The best of the best.
Have you seen his champion? He's one of the highest goal scorers ever for Madrid. The highest goal scorers in the Champions League ever.
Yeah. He's had a great career, but like you said, we're being strict. He doesn't challenge Suarez. In my eyes, him and Lewandowski are on level playing field. R9, I mean, you could argue say Bobby Charlton's got a better history. Who else have we got on the list? Ronaldo, Thierry Henry. You know, we're dealing with greats of the game. He's had a great career. He's a great player, but we're picking hairs, and for that, you just got to go in the bin.
Okay. Hussam, I'm back with you next, and I'm giving you Roberto Carlos.
Ooh, that's a very tough one, you know. The first one is GOAT, the second is legend, and then the third one is great, right?
Correct.
I'm going to put him in great. I think Roberto Carlos is the greatest left back ever. I think Roberto Carlos is a footballing icon. He made people want to become a left back. I think as well the way he took free kicks, his involvement with Brazil in the glorious days as well. And I just think, like, after that, the left backs that came after, like the Marcelos of the world, like the Albas, I don't think they touch Roberto Carlos, in my opinion. So I'm going to put Roberto Carlos in great.
I definitely agree with Hussam in terms of he's like a trailblazer. He's him and Cafu as well on the other side, and Brazilian fullbacks in general. To be fair, they have set a precedence about how your fullback should be and what they should be able to do. I don't necessarily agree he's the greatest left back of all time, but he's definitely had a bigger impact in that position in world football than any other left back, if not fullback, ever.
Yeah, well, he's been put in great there. I don't think many people will disagree with your logic behind that. I'm back with Neats now, and I'm going to give you Mo Salah.
Mo Salah. Now, I rate Mo Salah very, very highly. But this is an exclusive club. And you have to be honest, it's what, 4 years that you can really say he's been the top level. 4 years? No, what? 2017, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, 2021. 4 years. I'm not counting.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you did good at Fiorentina and you did good at Roma, but I'm not ticking that to say, yeah, that's why you're part of the GOAT category discussion. I'm not doing that. 4 years at the highest level, and he's been brilliant in that at his level. But he's actually underrated as a footballer.
Yes.
He is. But in terms of this discussion, it has to be in the bin because he's not in the discussion of
bin.
greatest of all time.
There we go. Salah in the bin right now. I'm back with Have Hope, and I'm going to give
me
you...
Hazard. Give me Hazard.
Hazard's not on the list.
Oh. Wait. Why not? How is Salah and Benzema on the list, but Hazard is not on the list?
So
Because Hazard
You
was in
usually
the
don't knock out goals on the table.
I think everybody that I've put on this list, as barring actually Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer's one there. No, I just didn't put him on the list. I don't know why he's not on the list. He's not there. He's not there. But maybe I'll add Hazard later. I'll add him in. But I was going to give you Kaka.
Oh, Kaka.
Ricardo.
Square it.
I'm going to say overrated.
Agree.
Ballon d'Or winner, overrated.
Yes, overrated. Like, I don't give it. Wait, bro, that clown Jorginho just won UEFA Men's Player of the Year, so I don't give a damn about those dumbass awards, man. So they mean nothing to me. So yeah, you won the 07 Ballon d'Or thing and so forth. 2 reasons. I'm going to build up. First reason is 06. Do you know how good that Brazil's team was in 06? This team had Dinho at its peak. You had Ronaldo, you had Adriano, you had Robinho, and you had Kaka there in that team. And yet again, a guy who I want to be at the very top, Zizou. Shout out to my ball farmer there, Zizou, destroyed them by himself. Reason number 2, and I'm sure my 2 Liverpool friends will enjoy this. Kaka was superb in that first half against Thingy. And if Milan had won that game, Kaka would definitely be in that great category. The very fact you were on that pitch and you allowed Steve Finnan, Vladimir Smitsa, Dietmar Hamann, and some guys from the local market and fruit sellers salon to beat you? Nah. That goes on your record. Can't. Overrated.
No, imagine doing
the
that.
Madrid
Imagine
playing into the top.
Yeah.
Like he really struggled at Madrid, and that was supposed to be his big move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
With
Kaka's
Kaka's longevity as well.
At Madrid.
He didn't have good longevity.
Yeah.
That's one bad thing about him.
But imagine being 3-0 up against Jason Punchin and Cheku Kiyate and still not winning. I'm just saying.
Checky Kuyate weren't there then.
Look, man,
It
shout out
was
to Jason
Julian Speroni.
He's been putting overrated there. Not many. There's a few people disagreeing with it, but listen, he's entitled to the opinion. Next up,
guys, shut up.
I'm going to go back to David. And David, I'm going to give you Puskas.
I actually know quite a bit about Puskas. You know, I know he's from Hungary. They should have won a World Cup, or it was a World Cup or a Euros, but the rain came and West Germany beat them. But he was a serious player. He's got 84 international goals. Serious.
Less than Ronaldo.
Less than Ronaldo, yeah, I know. I don't know how we're going to be.
Joseph, this can has more.
Should we just say something here, right? There's part of me that feels like should we leave players out that none of us saw play live because of an age thing, but that means we leave out Maradona and Pele. So, like, that's the thing. That's
No, sorry. I think you still can because this is a GOAT conversation, and a GOAT conversation requires accolades, achievements, impact, and so. See, if we're doing like the best, you have to have seen them. If this is a GOAT conversation, put everybody in there.
It's like I'm not going to put him in GOAT. I wouldn't do that. But like, I definitely think he's a. I wish there was like a rated enough category. Put him in underrated. Put him in underrated. That's where Puskas should go because I think.
I actually agree with underrated because like there's an award named after. He was so good. Skills that he would produce him in the era. He was inventing these things. Like when you get a skill named after, like so you know, people do a Cruyff turn. I don't think people understand that Cruyff invented. It wasn't like someone did it.
When he did it, and the whole crowd goes, "Oh,
wait, sorry. Is Cruyff on this list?
Cruyff's here, yeah, of course.
I want to go in. Let someone put Cruyff anywhere near legend or great, so I can respond to them, please.
Actually, where is Cruyff? Cruyff should be on the list. I definitely took a screenshot picture of him, but I now can't see him. I can see I can see what's his name. Oh no, there he is. No, there's Cruyff. Yeah. The next one I'm going to go to. Actually, the next one I'm going to go to is Tom, and I'm going to give you Beckenbauer.
He was one of the. What's the word? As a centre back, he created the sweeper role. He won. Was it 1 or 2 World Cups? One World Cup. Did he win Euros as well? I know he had a really good international career. I assume he had a great club career.
European Cups, yeah.
You know, he changed how a centre back would play. How long was sweepers a commonplace after that? You know, everyone wanted a Beckenbauer in the team after that because he started attacks from the back. He was so unique at the time. Has time been kind to these older generation? Probably not, in a way, because whether we like it or not, there is a sense of recency bias from us because we watch them live. I'd probably have them in great borderline legend though.
So you said all that stuff. I was like, I was expecting like a legend to be said after your sentence. You said all that stuff, and just say great, bro. Put him in legend, man. Sorry, put him in legend.
He invented a position.
Yeah.
God, you know what I mean? That's like, I don't know, you're giving out engineering awards, and the Wright brothers invented aeroplanes, but we're not going to give them.
Hold on, I said either great or legend.
Is he legend?
I didn't say he invented a position and he then said, "Oh, great." The hell?
Next, I'm going to go to Neeks again, and Neeks, I'm going to give you Sir Bobby Charlton.
Ah, yes. What a great player.
Neeks.
Really?
Be real.
I remember when I used to watch Bobby Robert down the Masters. Well, listen, we want to talk about Ballon d'Ors. He's got a Ballon d'Or, 66. He got second place in 67, third place in 68. Like, he was top 3 players of all time for 3 years straight as a minimum. World Cup winner, Man United record goal scorer, or did Rooney break it? Can't remember now. Did Rooney break it?
Rooney broke it.
Rooney broke it. So second, but it was 250 plus goals as an attacking midfielder. He wasn't a striker. He was an attacking midfielder. And he had 250 plus goals. World Cup, European Cup, Ballon d'Or. I mean, he is. I'm gonna say great because there's only a certain level of numbers we can have, but yeah, he's right up there. I'll put him in great.
100%. Most decorated in terms of winning. I think he's the only English player that's like won everything that off the top of my head that I can think of. Well, Nobby Stiles as well. Like the few, like in his era, like does that make sense? Like that because obviously no English player since won a World Cup. So like that era of England players, the Man United ones who won the Champions League and the World Cup, very very special indeed. Hussein, I'm back with you now.
When am I going to get? I swear you've actually gone to people like 3 or 4 times before me. But when you do come to me, just give me Cruyff. Hussam, please go, but please give me Cruyff.
Hussam, well, you're going to go next. I'm going to give you Rivaldo.
You're giving me all the people that I first started watching. The first thing I ever watched in my life was the 2002 World Cup. You're like, I swear if you do Ronaldinho next, I'm just going to be so torn now because it's just like that goal against England. I remember it. With Rivaldo, I just think the drop off in his career as well was weird towards the end. He went to Olympiacos, and then I believe he played in the Iranian league as well, if I'm not mistaken. He ended up there. So with Rivaldo, like the problem is I'm so nostalgic right now. I don't even know what to do, bro. But just because like we can't disrespect someone like Rivaldo, because of everything he's achieved, I'm gonna put him in underrated. That's
it has to be. He's underrated. He was the
longevity matters. Longevity matters, Mr. Sunglasses. So this is why I didn't put him.
2002 World Cup, Brazil. He was Brazil's best player, not R9.
Nah.
Yes, he was.
Ronaldo hates on Ronaldo,
Yes, he
man.
was.
Brilliant. He was brilliant. Do you know the problem that he had is he was just this big fish in a gargantuan pond with sharks. Like he just sometimes you can't stand out. You can't stand out like that.
Yeah.
Have hope. I'm back with you, and I'm giving you Eden Hazard. Where's Eden Hazard on this list? Eden Hazard.
Hey, why are you giving them players from their own clubs? Well, what is this, bro? What is this?
My
You give
thing
the
is,
United fan Bobby Charlton
Can I
and you
land?
give him Eden Hazard. Why
can
don't
I
you
land,
give me
please?
Hazard?
Can you please mute your mics, please? Thank you.
Oh my
So,
God, bro.
now I want people to please relax and chill. Don't be too reactionary when I say this. No, just bear with me. I'll be saying this very slowly. Eden Hazard's story has not yet been written.
He's 31.
Eden Hazard's story has not yet been written. And because none of you can see the future. None of you is Nostradamus. Nostradamus died 3,000 years ago, so he's not around right now. None of you are Nostradamus. So I am using an educated appraisal of the situation. Future GOAT.
Oh,
And can I land? Can I land?
oh my
Can I
God.
land?
What?
Can I land? Can I land my point?
Oh my
Because
goodness.
I have a belief that Hazard is going to do something in the next 2-3 years of his career that will shock people. So I feel that because none of us can see the future and I'm allowed to make an educated guess, I'm going to say in the next 2-3 years, he's going to do things that will shock the world. So I'm going to put him on the future GOAT.
Bro, do you know what? Do you know? Let me just say, I think he's got more chance of getting diabetes than he's got becoming a GOAT.
Thank you.
He's going
Thank
to
you. He's been spending 2 years at McDonald's. We haven't even seen him with Real Madrid yet. What's actually happening right now?
This is his
Terry,
debut
this is
season.
what happens. That's why you give
It's
people
his debut.
names from
This is
the
his
wrong
debut
club.
season.
This is what
Debut
happens.
season.
You gave me Hazard. The answer would have been straight up in the bin because he didn't accomplish what he's supposed
Judge
to
him
accomplish.
this year. Judge him
And
this
you know
this
he's
is his
failed.
debut season. This is his first season at Real Madrid.
What we're going to do, look, we have to
I would have been with
have
you.
folks'
I'd have been
wishes.
with you.
At 31 years of age, or however old he is, been put into the future GOAT category.
Future goal.
Future GOAT.
31 years
We
old.
do realise as well, though, don't we, that Eden
Wow.
Hazard has
Oh my God,
one
man.
career Champions League knockout goal, and it was a
I'm the
penalty in
real
a
fun
game he
classic
lost.
guy.
Literally, I was
So Terry, who's
Amazing.
next? Moving
But
on.
guys, we're going to move on here. We're going to go back to David. And David, I'm going to give you, we are going to do future GOATs in a minute. That's a section coming up very soon. I'm going to give you Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Oh, I'd hate him. Absolutely hate him. Guy
Bin.
talks too much about my club for no reason. Leave us be.
Keep the same energy.
Wait, Terry, remove
You know
that
the
comment
thing
from the
is-
screen, please.
Again, the thing is, I actually, that's a great comment. I actually really like Zlatan. I actually really do. But
Mhm.
again, I'm going to put him in overrated. I'll put him in overrated.
Yes.
Overrated. I think
Correct.
that's fair enough.
Correct.
No, because
David, you not see the future GOAT potential there? He's got another 3 years, you know?
he's got
David, he didn't win the Champions League. Why didn't you put him in the bin? Tell me. He didn't win the Champions League.
He won multiple league titles, mate.
Doesn't matter. He didn't win the Champions
League
League.
is
Why didn't you
league.
put him in the bin?
What I always say this about the Champions League. The Champions League is all about randoms. Okay?
David, you do realize
when it
Pushkash
comes
is
to
next
the
to
league-
Scholes on this list. You do realize how
Oh,
embarrassing
whatever.
this is right now?
Cool. The league is your bread and butter, and in every single sport in the world, when it comes to your league, okay, every sport has a league, and all the greats win the league. You think people are talking about Allen Iverson as the greatest basketball player of all time? Please no.
I am.
That's
Relax.
different. That's
Well,
5 on
then
5,
you're-
not
well,
11
then-
on 11.
Well, then you're
Different, way
deluded as
different.
well. Put him in overrated.
Okay,
He's good enough.
we've done that there. Tom, back with you, Tom, and I'm giving you Sergio Aguero.
Bin.
This just goes into the whole. He's a great striker, had a great career, but again, we're dealing with the best. But I really like Sergio Aguero. I think he was unlucky with injuries, which is easy to forget at times because he had so many good seasons. But I don't know if he ever won a Golden Boot. I think that's one of the things that goes against him. I don't know if he ever won a Golden Boot. But I'd have him in underrated. I think he was a really, really good striker. Just
There we go. Underrated Sergio Aguero. I'm back with Neeks. I'm going to give you Antoine Griezmann.
Oh,
Bin.
Bin next.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, those wages alone, he shouldn't even be in the category. Sorry.
Hussam, I'm going to give you Ashley Cole.
In the bin. I think compared
You're mad.
compared to other left backs, compared to other left backs, listen, other left backs in the game. No kicking off nothing. You put Gerrard in the bin, I'm putting Ashley Cole in the bin.
Mute him, Terry, mute him.
Use your trump card later.
Terry, mute
I think
him.
compared to other left backs, Roberto Carlos is a better left back. Marcelo is a better left back.
You're mad.
We've watched. Bro, this is my opinion.
You're mad.
Your Chelsea rep put Gerrard in the bin. I'm putting Ashley Cole in the bin. Isn't it my choice?
No. But you're mad. That is.
I'm mad. I'm crazy.
Drugs on the terrace.
Listen, Ashley Cole goes in the bin.
Banned on the terrace.
Bro, can I explain myself? Ashley Cole goes in the bin. Marcelo is a better left back than him. Roberto Carlos is a better left back than him. We've seen better left backs than him. I think Robertson in 5 years probably could become a better left back than him. So, you know, I'm putting Ashley Cole in the bin.
Get him out.
No, allow it. It's his opinion.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's where he's put him in the bin.
My honest opinion.
I am absolutely shocked. Like, I'm a Man United fan. I got no love lost with Chelsea. Like, this guy killed us a few times, you know, in a Chelsea shirt. But there he is. Ashley Cole's been put in the bin by a Liverpool fan. I know for a fact that my Chelsea viewers are not having that for a minute. We have a super chat here I've got to do before we continue. So many comments I can't keep up. It says Hazard is going to shock the world by announcing his retirement soon or joining Sturridge in the unemployment line is what V33.
Yeah, V33. Get a real name rather than the name of his aircraft.
Straight away, Kieran put Cole into underrated. He's moved him up to 2 categories straight away. They were not having any. Look, straight away again. Here we go. Look at this. Vieira is better than Scholes. Lampard and Gerrard won everything except the Champions League. Could do everything that was asked of him. If those two are in the conversation, so does Vieira need to be as well? That's a fair point. To be fair, that's an absolutely fair point in relation to that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that super chat, buddy. And we'll get that sorted out for you in a few moments' time. We'll get that done in relation to... In fairness, I always run my list past like the Football Terrace group. No one actually mentioned his name earlier on today. Big super chat. Jonas, thank you very much for the donation, my brother. Going to go to Have Hope again now. Have Hope. We are going to give you, on this list, Gerrard Piqué.
Bin.
Yeah, please.
Straight in the bin.
And he's also he's overrated and in the bin. Oh, he's not. He's like he's lucky he played for Barcelona. And people will say, "Oh, he just thought you because he left Man United." I mean, I didn't care when he left Man United. He is the paella Johnny Evans. I'm serious.
Wow.
Wow.
He's not wrong.
Oh my God. He's not a good defender. He plays for a team that has 70+% possession, and he can't run. So
it's nonsense. It's nonsense.
If you're supposed to be the stalwart in a defence that bottles a 4-1 lead and a 3-0 lead in back-to-back years, when at points in the tournament you were considered one of the favourites, I'm sorry. That's just...
He was carried by Ramos and carried by Puyol. It's as simple as...
I've got to say here, original base Andy, it says, deep it, Dan James has as many Champions League goals as Hazard in less time. Move him down. Man has been enjoying the paella too much. So he's moved down from future GOAT to underrated is where he's been moved down into because of original base Annie already getting them super chats in. Cole, great, you mad, bruv. So Cole can't jump up, or he can actually jump up because he can't go into future GOAT. Ashley Cole has been moved up into great by Dennis there. I told you Chelsea fans would speak. Chelsea fans were never going to allow that to happen at all. These Liverpool fans are delusional and sensitive. Ashley Cole in the bin because Gerrard is in it, and United fans, that's madness. Thank you very much for that super chat.
Why am I getting strays? I've done nothing wrong.
Sorry, if you look in the private chats, in case you want to keep hold of the supers and all that kind of stuff, there's a way you can do so in the thingy. If you go to the monetization tab, so you don't have to look through the thing, there's a way where you can look and get all your supers in one screen.
On what? On YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube. You go to the monetization
Oh, no,
tab.
yeah, I've got that. It's more putting up on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
I've got to fix that where you can actually keep your super chats in one place to put them on the screen, just to be respectful to people. But thank you for those donations, everyone. Who went last? Who picked last? Was it Have
I just went, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to David, and I'm going to give you Busquets.
I don't care. Put him in the bin. I really am not bothered. Like, I'm really not. Like he's like Jorginho. I'd put Jorginho in the bin. I put he's a great but like he's a great player.
You're such a gammon, bruv.
Why am I gammon? He's a great player, but he's just not of these guys.
You don't understand the nuance of that role. It's too.
I don't know. I get it. It's hard. I understand. But when I'm talking about putting him with Ronaldo, Messi, all these guys,
I bet you break your pasta in half before you boil it, don't you, bruv? Do you know what I mean?
No. I actually do that to noodles. To be fair,
jerk my rice. That's all I'm going to say to you. You don't understand it. But listen, it's your vote. You get to put him in there. We are going to very soon, ladies and gentlemen, do the Future GOAT category. But up next with Tom, I'm giving you John Terry.
Great defender, really good defender. Arguably the best in the Premier League era. Between like Ferdinand and you got Campbell in there and all that, but I don't think he touches the top three. I think he's just short of that. But I don't exactly think he's underrated either. This is the issue.
So
people rate how good.
That rated enough categories needed.
It's in the bin might sound a little bit disrespectful, but it's basically saying you're not in the conversation for the greatest. You're not overrated or underrated, but you're not in the conversation for one of the top 15 players. Like that's all it's saying.
Yeah, but then I'm putting John Terry in the same category as Antoine Griezmann.
Yeah, but it's not. I know it's the same category, but if you're not in
there are levels.
Campbell's not in that conversation. It's not the same. Like, I mean,
you're either in the discussion or you're not. Like John, if John Terry's not in the discussion, neither is.
Let's just go a bit overrated.
I want to ask you, overrated. You're putting him in. I actually think overrated is more disrespectful than in the bin.
Rio Ferdinand was 10 times a defender.
There we go. On Rio Ferdinand, I'm going to Hussam next, and I'm giving you Rio Ferdinand.
Ooh, I think Terry was the better defender. I think Terry is the best, even though the two Chelsea fans have pissed me off. Terry is the best Premier League defender, I think, in the Premier League. I think Ferdinand was definitely the better one out of Ferdinand and Vidic. I really liked Ferdinand. He was like a Rolls Royce of a defender, and he was probably the second best Premier League defender of all time after Terry. So if Terry's an overrated, then I'm not gonna model myself after Tom. You know what? I'm just gonna go Ferdinand underrated. That's where I'm going.
Putting him in underrated. KC here. Busquets is the greatest CDM ever. 3 Champions Leagues, a World Cup, Euros, multiple leagues. Christ, he is better than every English player in some post 1970s. Only Scholes comes close. I'm actually gonna back that super chat there and move Busquets up at least a category into. He can't be an overrated, but that's where he's gonna be.
If you put him in underrated, I don't have a problem with that. Underrated.
Okay, underrated. I mean, you definitely underrate him by what you said. Like he's
I just don't.
David, we've established we don't actually watch football.
I don't think he's a top 5 midfielder of all time. I don't.
Neeks, I'm coming to you next, and I'm giving you. We're starting to get down to the real tough ones now. Neeks, I'm giving you Gerd Müller.
Okay. Well, question, is Eusebio on this list?
No.
Okay, I was wondering. I think Gerd Müller has to be great. He has to be great. He is a legend. Don't get it wrong. He is a legend. But the way I'm categorizing legend, of course, it's not all my picks, is if you're the best player, greatest player in your position, I think you should be a legend, because when you think of that position, that name should come to your head or there or thereabouts. He's definitely one of the greatest strikers of all time, but I don't think he's the greatest striker of all time. So I'll put him in great.
Yeah, crazy record, man.
Yeah.
There we go. I got realist comment from Neil. It says Terry racist. Oh, you mean John Terry? I thought you meant me. Oh, God, what have I done? What did I do? Oh my God. We've got a comment here. Hi, Terry. Dennis Bergkamp, Vieira, Romario, Marco Van Basten, and Roberto Baggio. Ozil is a World Cup winner. Shouldn't be in the.
So is Arbeloa. Arbeloa is a World Cup winner. I mean, so is Stefan Givash.
And Cleverson.
Like, there are definitely more players that we could have put on the short list. The list was so long, it was hard to get everybody on there. So I appreciate that super chat. Thank you very, very much indeed. There we go. Right. Back with Have Hope here. And I'm going to give you Luis Suarez.
Oh, you should have given me
Well, apart from him being racist and also eating people, he likes human flesh. So human flesh and racism to one side. Cannibal Suarez.
One side.
Absolutely.
Because look, he'd be the GOAT if this was about cannibalism. He'd be the GOAT of cannibalism. But let's not say cannibalism ranking. I've got to say, see this. It's weird
really,
because his peak was amazing, but his peak didn't last for a super long time. So I don't know whether I can just call him a great based off of his peak. So for me, I would say, I'd say overrated. And the reason why I would say overrated is because people put him as one of the. Remember, if you know you can be overrated and still good. Yeah. So my thing is that he's super amazing, but people put him as one of the best strikers of all time. When he's like, no, he had an amazing peak, but really that peak was the last season for Liverpool, MSN season, and then that was that. In that Liverpool season, he did not score against the top six. For as good as that season was. Yes, he had the MSN season. Afterwards, shot down by Atletico in the UCL and shot down by Juventus. Wait. Also as well, go look at his record towards the end of his Barca career. I think he didn't score in a UCL away game for like 2 or 3 years. So I do feel that even though he is overrated, he's still an amazing player. Just that he's just not as good as people make him out to be. But at his peak, he was an amazing striker. A super striker.
Hold on.
Duplicitous person. Get him in the bin.
Let's just bear in mind that this is the player who has the third most assists of all time, has a goal-assist ratio of over 1. He's only, I think, 2 or 3 assists behind Ronaldo for second as well. His peak was longer than 2 years.
I can't respect a guy that eats people, man. I'm sorry.
No, I know.
Absolutely duplicitous.
I'm looking at the football player. The football player of Luis Suarez, his peak was longer than 2 years because if you 2013-14 start of it, I mean, even though you 2012-13 that was a great season by any striker standards. But we'll go 2013-14, player of the year in the Premier League. 2014-15 wins the Champions League, best striker in La Liga that season. 2015-16 beats both Ronaldo and Messi to the European Golden Boot with like near 60 goals, I think.
What did he do in the UCL against Atleti?
But now we're nitpicking the individual game.
That's one game.
See what you remember what he did against Ghana as well? He needs to be in the bin, fam. I'm sorry. It's embarrassing. He cheated Africa. He cheated the whole of Africa.
He's in overrated for now. When you think of CDMs, Makaleli is the go-to. Hasn't been mentioned, so he is massively underrated. As I say, like I sat here putting the list together, and I just can't think of everyone at once. It's just like there's so many players. Apologies if people were missed, but yeah, great shout for Claude Makaleli. But the point is, his name doesn't come up in conversations. That's the thing. It's like you've mentioned it. It's a great shout, but it doesn't come up, and maybe it should. I'm gonna go to who's next? David. I'm gonna go to David, and I'm gonna give you Totti.
Oh, same thing with Gerrard. Put him in the bin. Didn't win a league. I don't care. He's in the bin.
He won the leagues.
He did win the league.
Did he win the league?
Yes, he won the league with Roma.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Oh, fine. Put him in. I thought he never won a league. Put him in underrated then. Put him in underrated. Sorry, my mistake. Put him in underrated.
He's going into underrated there. Fair enough. This is Noah. I'm a Man United fan, but Suarez is a top 5 striker ever. Only R9 and Omri are better than him. Scored 180 goals in less than 300 appearances.
Have you heard of Batistuta? Have you heard of George Weah? Have you heard of Baggio? Have you heard of Van Basten? The
To
hell?
respect that super chat, he's moving up a category.
Ah.
We're respecting the super chats today when people are moving
no respect to him.
individuals. You've got no respect. Next, I'm back with you, Tom, and I'm giving you. I'm gonna give you David Beckham.
Bin.
No, because he was actually quite good at United, but people seem to forget that.
What?
Tom, why are you
Dave-
being nice?
Because I'm a football fan, aren't I?
Yeah.
And the United lads haven't done anything to really annoy me so
Yeah,
far.
that's true.
David Beckham came second behind Ronaldo in a Ballon d'Or voting. You know, as a player,
Should have won it.
people still look at him. He's got the most iconic free kick technique in the world. People, you know, bend it like Beckham. As an England fan, that performance against Greece is one of the best in terms of England performance. But I think the reason he isn't as good as he should have been is because the Real Madrid, and he went to LA Galaxy a bit too early, and he's just sort of he had a bit of an early decline. So I'd put him in underrated because people seem to forget just how good David Beckham was as a footballer.
See, I agree with Tom. I think there's actually two cases for Beckham. When Beckham was playing, I think he was overrated because of his stardom. But since Beckham's retired, I think he's underrated because people forget how good he was as a footballer. And he was never England's best player for me in terms of consistently, but people look at him like he's one of the best in the world. And I was like, I don't think you're as good as we're talking on the international level. But since he's gone, people are like, oh, look how much goals or assists he gets compared to Salah or Mane. You're like, wait, football's different. What he was doing, how he could manipulate a football, what people like Trent are getting credit for now, Kevin De Bruyne are getting credit for now, Beckham was doing that with his eyes closed.
Yeah, he was. And I think he was a much better football player than people gave him credit for. I think the fame, if he hadn't married a Spice Girl, if he wasn't as good looking, if he wasn't as successful commercially, he'd have got, if he looked more like Wayne Rooney, if he had a drink problem, if he wasn't so, he was fairly squeaky clean. Yeah, there was a few rumors of sort of like extra marital relationships, but there wasn't anything ever that came out about him that was like it bothered people. It really bothered. He'd get even more abuse in this era because look at the stuff. Half the abuse Harry Kane gets is because he's a poster boy, and I think that's always gone against David Beckham massively. And such a professional. I thought he did quite well I read about it. I didn't watch La Liga, but did well in Spain. Was to go for an Englishman to go to Spain and to be respected by the Madrid fans. I mean, look at Bale. We're going to get onto Bale later, but Bale's career at Real Madrid is better than Beckham's. But Beckham has more respect from the Madrid fans.
Which is insane. No, the respecting because he's a like an underwear model.
No, that isn't it at all.
No, Terry, it is it. They respect him because women are attracted to him. And
Beckham is a footballing icon. Let's just.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yes, he is.
No,
yes,
he
is.
Earlier,
Growing up, everyone wanted to bend it like Beckham. Everyone wanted to do that.
No,
have hope. You said earlier on the stream about when you think about players where they, positions or techniques are named after them and like a legacy in the game. David Beckham's name in 200 years' time will be remembered in football. That's why for me, I'm not putting him in the top 15 players because he isn't in the top 15 players. But to just say in the bin and try and disregard everything he's done, David Beckham's name will be remembered in 200 years' time. Yeah. It is that strong. The brand is that strong. Beckham and Ronaldinho were the first two football stars, stroke celebrities. Jules Best was, but in our era, yes, they were. More regular people knew Beckham than most of the other players on that.
Don't you ever put Beckham and Ronaldinho in the same sentence? Are you high? The hell?
He's staying in underrated. Where Kante is coming up very, very soon in this debate, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go next to Neeks. And Neeks, I'm going to give you Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry. Va-va-voom.
Thierry Henry cheated his way to a Champions League. I mean, that was just cheating. Like, he left Arsenal in the mud chasing glory. It reminds me of Kevin Durant. Couldn't do it in OKC, so he went to a sleeper team and just lucked his way to it. However, he has a very good international career as well, and of course, he has a very good Premier League career. His finals record is awful. It's actually awful. Oh,
He scored a goal in a major final.
I don't think he has.
I don't think he has. No.
I don't think he has.
He did stop Ireland making the World Cup though.
Can I see the list quickly? I need to see how many players we're kind of dealing with. So we've got four. I'll put him in great. I'll put him in great because he's the greatest player to ever play in the Premier League, and the Premier League consistently throughout our lifetime has been top 3 leagues in the world. Right now, for me, it's the best. And when he was playing, it was top 2, top 3 minimum. And he was the best player. He's the greatest player ever in the Premier League. So I'll put him in great.
There we go.
Suarez has more goals, more assists in less games.
Say again?
Suarez has more goals and more assists in less games throughout the career.
Don't be a stats merchant.
I'm going to be a stat merchant. You hold on. You were the one who tried to put Hazard in future goals earlier.
Thierry Henry is a greater
31.
player and has a greater legacy than Luis Suarez.
No doubt. I'm just pointing out.
There we go. Let's move this on. Hussein, I'm going to come to you and give you Iron Robin.
Wait. What's Robin? Pick carefully. Pick very carefully.
No, I am gonna pick carefully. I'm saying, listen, we like there are greats of football we're talking about here. So this guy cannot be included in the conversation, unfortunately for him. I think, was he even the best right winger ever? Was he the best? I don't think so.
He invented the inside forward position.
Bro, you put Hazard as future GOAT. I'm not taking criticism from you, who's 31 and he's at Burger King right now.
Well, we're focusing on Robin.
Just
forget about Hazard. Focusing on Robin.
Listen. With Arjen
He invented
Robben,
the inside forward position. He led Bayern Munich to a treble. If Casillas did not dope, he'd have a World Cup as well. Carry on.
Where are you putting him, bro? Where are you putting Robin?
I'm putting Robin in overrated. I don't think he gets into any of these conversations.
Wow.
It's a big
That's
Do you not remember that Man United goal off the corner doing all this?
Sorry, put him in underrated.
One goal, doesn't matter.
Eject it.
Gerrard,
Can you put him in underrated?
I can't change someone's placement. You get a trump card
No,
later.
but he doesn't count. Put him on.
Sorry, bro. Sean here says Dalglish surely on the list. Sean, great shout again. I mean, there's so many. I think we probably could have picked another 50, 60 players to put on this list if we're really going to start getting panicky with it. Great shout, Dalglish. Brilliant player indeed. Going to go back to David here. David, I'm going to give you Maldini.
I've got to be nice to Ram, don't I? I'll put him in legend, to be fair. He won everything, like legit won everything.
Apart from the World Cup.
Yeah, cool. He won pretty much everything, let's be fair. 20 years at the top of his game, was still performing at. I mean, Ram says he saw him, and Ram's like the same age as me, so he must have played for a long time. So yeah, he's got to be in legend.
Old man. Okay.
Old man.
Tom, Gareth Bale.
Oof.
No, put him in overrated. It's all overrated or in the bin. It's just the longevity thing again. I know he's not really appreciated by Madrid fans. I know he could have went on for longer, but when he went to Madrid for a world record fee at the time, there just seemed to be. I know we got the goal in the final, but there was just something. It's always felt like there's been something like
two goals
Two goals in the final.
Yeah. Against you guys.
Yeah, that one as well. That's good.
He scored in 2014 final.
Yeah, that was the one I was on about.
And then he got a
2018.
And he scored one. He actually, for me,
he scored the greatest Champions League goal.
Yeah, that overhead kick goal is the greatest Champions League final goal in the history of.
No, it's not better than Zidane.
No, Zidane.
No, hang on. Whoa, let me speak a second. It's an over fucking head kick.
From outside the box.
Again.
Which is also a volley. They're both volleys, but he couldn't see the goal. And he got it in the top corner. It's
Harry Kane,
that
Harry
goal.
Kane.
Zidane one's better. Zidane one's better.
Zidane's
No,
better.
it's-
Zidane's
No,
better.
No, it's not. It's only because it was against your team. That's why. Man scored from outside the
David,
box.
I'm not
with overhead
biased
kick.
like you, man. I'm not biased like
Relax,
you. Don't
bro.
worry.
Relax, man.
Don't
Come
worry
on.
about it. Don't worry about it.
I just
Yeah,
feel
Zidane-
like the
both
top
Zidane
goal
has
to be
to-
decided.
Guys, sorry, we're getting a bit messy with this now. Where are you putting him, bro?
I'll put him in overrated. I just think there's
Overrated.
something left to be desired.
Okay. Neek's back with you. Neymar.
Neymar, I'm gonna put him in future goal. I'm sure that's allowed. No, I think that's allowed. But the reason why I say it is because I think he is or has been top 3 players in the world for God knows how long. And it's only just because Messi and Ronaldo, who are obviously going to be right up there, have been there that he has stopped him from actually. If Messi and Ronaldo weren't playing this era, we would be calling him a GOAT because he would be the greatest player of this generation. But it is what it is. It's the era that he lives in. I say future GOAT because I think what he needs is a World Cup or see, win the Champions League with PSG is not going to mean as much now because he's got Messi. But I think if he can lead Brazil to a World Cup, then I think you're talking about one of the greatest players of all time. He's one of the most talented players of all time already. But I just think, I say future GOAT because he's still got time. He's probably got, 2 more World Cups in him? At least. So I think, yeah, I'm going to put him in future GOAT. I know he's getting on a bit, but he's younger than Hazard.
Fair enough. We will make that move. Sorry, this super chat here from Detroit. We will make that move a little bit later. Mateus and Oliver Kahn are not on the list, but you are right. Absolutely.
Khan isn't on the list?
He's just a name that slipped my mind as I was doing the list, mate. Like literally, it's not
A lot of
like
players who play football.
Terry, please don't give Kante to Hussam. He'll put him in the bin. Let's do a few more of these. We are going to do future GOATs in a moment, like the youngsters that we think could do it. Next on the list, I'm going to go to Hussam and I'm going to give you so many hard to pick now. Iniesta.
Oh my God. Iniesta, I think, gets into that legend category, definitely for me. I think Iniesta, to me, is my third favorite midfielder. I'm not ranking them in order. I'm saying a favorite, like to watch. I really like him. I think what he accomplished with Barcelona, with Spain in pivotal moments always showed up. That goal against Chelsea, absolutely phenomenal. I celebrated that goal, absolutely incredible.
After the referee was bought.
Yeah, amazing 90th minute goal. I think as well with Iniesta, dominated game, scored in the World Cup final. Like Iniesta was really, when you deep it, was the best midfielder, I'd say, for Barcelona in that era.
Yeah.
And with that much dominance, you have to put him in legend, to be honest.
Yep.
Javi gave him a life.
No, he was better than Javi.
Yeah, but he was
I want
better
to
than
say,
Javi.
guys, as well, with a lot of the picks that I've made, what I use is a website that did votes for every nation. So they did these votes and they only allow people that live in that country with a website to vote. So the reason why certain German players are not in there is they weren't even voted in the top 3 in their own country by their own countrymen. So that's why. Also, like when it comes to like Xavi, like Iniesta was voted above Xavi. That's why Xavi's on the list, and sorry, Iniesta's on the list and not Xavi, just because I had to narrow it down to a few people. But he's been put into, that means legend category has only got 2 more spaces left in it as of now, ladies and gentlemen. But of course, your super chats can change things a little later. We're going to have Ziad to come on soon to join us. We're going to do a few more of the big boys, and then we're going to move on to the youngsters before we get into the home straight. Stay with the Football Terrace. Smash that like and that share button. It's starting to look very, very tasty indeed here. As you can see the list in front of us. Very, very tasty indeed to see who's going to be on that coming up very soon. Let's do a few more of these names. These might be quite quick ones. I think they're going to be quick ones. I never quite know.
I'm steeping it. Van Persie over Hullet. Wow.
So, I mean, I didn't vote for it. Like,
of course, yeah.
I'm going to go for you, David, and I'm going to give you Ryan Giggs.
I'm trying. I'm just trying to think 2 categories. Put him in legend. Put him in legend. Put him in legend. No. Put him in great. No. Wait.
Oh my God.
No. Put him in legend. No, he's in legend. No, he's in legend.
Legend for I did not expect that. Legend.
What the hell?
Legend.
No. Because by the way,
Legend.
I rank. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to think. Does it go legend then great?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, okay. Put him in great then. Sorry, put him in great.
Okay, great.
I'm sorry.
Great.
For me, right? The way that I rank these goats he's fantastic. But he's fantastic. I can't. What am I meant to say about Ryan Giggs? Guy won everything basically. He's from Wales, so allow him with the Euros and the World Cup. Allow that. But guy won like every Premier League in the world. And he was timeless as well. Don't forget that.
If we're talking football, with Ryan Giggs, the one thing that I know I can say about him, I can't speak about the older players I didn't watch. But of all these players we've mentioned, right? Ronaldinho is going to, all these guys, none of them were like world class in their main job. And then when they got old, moved into central midfield and dominated and won Premier Leagues or league titles in the hardest league in the world as a central midfielder. Your football, people talk about eye test and intelligence and everything else. That is up there with every other football player in the history of football. That's like R9, the striker, going from being the best striker in the world, getting a few injuries and going, right, I'm going to become the best left back or the best centre back now or the best midfielder. That's literally what Ryan Giggs did. Like, he was one of the best central midfielders in the Prem for a few year period. In terms of consistency, he was great. So I didn't think he was going to get as high as that, but Davies put him in great. Hussein disappeared when that happened. I don't know what happened there, but he's been put in great. I can't believe it. Next up, we're going to go to Tom Little, and I'm going to give you, we're getting literally all the names left now are massive. Carlos Puyol, where you putting him?
Oh, I mean, if Ryan Giggs is making great, the level of quality isn't really that high, is it? I mean, a few players could feel a bit hard done by then, can't they?
Remember, we've still got Messi, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Wayne Rooney, Kante,
Rooney,
Zidane, Beckham, Cruyff, and Pele all to come.
So Giggs has just taken up a spot that could be used for some of these great players. I can't believe it.
David, we have to question your footballing IQ.
Why?
You put Ryan Giggs as legend. That's just...
Guy won everything, bro. Multiple times.
This is not boxing.
Trebles.
Individually.
Guys, let Tom place, please. We can
surely, based on needing other players to get them spaces, Puyol's going to have to join Ferdinand and tell him underrated.
Oh,
that's where he is. He's in underrated. Neeks, I'm back with you, and I'm going to give you N'Golo Kante.
N'Golo Kante, decent player, carried by Pogba in the World Cup final. What more can I say about him? Jorginho was the best player this year when they won the Champions League. Danny Drinkwater was conducting things for Leicester. What has he really done when you actually deep it? Robbed Hazard of a PFA Player of the Year in 2017. Facts. I'm not lying. That's a fact. N'Golo Kante. He's not a legend. Great's even taken up already. Bloody hell. Am I going to put him in the bin?
No, just put him in underrated, isn't it?
No, I mean...
But is he underrated?
Not a future GOAT winner, because a lot of people think he might still win it.
Maybe future GOAT, to be fair.
Put him where you want to put him. Put him where you want to put him.
That's actually hard.
By the way, what I've done, I've extended great. Great can up to 10 people and not 8.
I'm not going to put him in great anyway. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to put him in great. I think he's, in terms of the type of defensive midfielder he is, because you got defensive midfielders like Pirlo, like Xabi Alonso, for example, like Carrick. That's different to him. But in terms of a tackler, a ball winner,
yeah,
he's the greatest that we've seen. I think he's the greatest that we've seen. So I'll put him in great.
Okay. Have folk next to you. Could this guy be the GOAT? Marcus. No, I'm joking. He's not on the list. I just wound you up. I'm going to give you Johan Cruyff.
Overrated.
What?
You got to explain.
Overrated.
You have to explain.
Okay, no, I'll explain. So basically, remember, this is about you as a player, not you as a manager and as a coach. As a manager and a coach, oh, this guy is a legend. As a player, you can't give me a Cruyff turn and that's it. You're just known for having a Cruyff turn. What did he do in the 1974 final where you were heavily favorites? Oh, yeah, that's right. You lost to West Germany. What happened in 1978? You didn't even bother showing up and you allowed your team to lose to Argentina. For me, I've always said Dennis Bergkamp is a better player than Cruyff. Cruyff did his thing and so forth. I've seen clips of Cruyff. He's pretty good. Way overrated. Way overrated, man. Put him in the overrated category.
I mean, I'm a little bit in shock, if I'm being honest. Honestly, I'm a little bit.
Can I use my Ryan Giggs shout and soften?
No, your Ryan Giggs one's in. I can't. Listen, viewers. The Johan Cruyff has been put into overrated by Have Hope.
Can we just bear in mind as well, Johan?
Bro, 1 second, bro. Make sure you're smashing that like and that share button, people. It's all about opinions on here. Tom, yes, mate, you were saying something.
This is a player who wanted the new contract in his last year at Ajax, didn't get it, so went to Feyenoord and won the league with them instead. Just because he wants.
Is there a walk up in your statements by any chance?
Hold on. You said you talk fluent UCL, and this guy won a treble of them, and you're gonna ignore that.
Based on how people have preached and talked about, I told overrated doesn't mean that you're bad. He's still amazing.
He revolutionized the game. He revolutionized the game
as a manager. Rinus Michels was the guy who actually revolutionized the game, not him. He learned off Rinus Michels and actually stole his idea to then put it over to Barcelona. So actually, he's a plagiarist. Shout out to Cruyff with all
you
due
make
respect,
me
so.
never want to wear sunglasses ever again.
There's a comment here. Neeks, no way Kante is better than Makalele.
He is.
Gyro says here.
Kante's better.
Right. Let's move on. David, I'm back with you, and I'm giving you Wayne Rooney.
Bin.
Bin. Yeah, bin.
Wayne Rooney in the bin.
Legend.
Overrated.
David, why not?
Overrated.
What? Hang on. Sorry. Why is Wayne Rooney overrated?
Because because I don't think he's underrated. I'm going to explain why he's got to end up in. He's not great. He's not in the bin, but he's not underrated. So I kind of just have to put him there. I don't think he's awful. I think he's actually really good. I just think when we're looking at all these players, he's kind of just fits in there.
It doesn't belong in this conversation.
Like it's a tough one. I can't. And if there was a rated enough, he would go in there, but I can't do that. So overrated.
There we go. Craig here says this guy is crazy. I could never be in the same room as you. We've created football.
Shut up.
Without Cruyff, there would be no.
Shut up. What a clownish, dumbass statement. You actually engage your brain to write that crap. Cruyff created. Shut up. Critic from the. Shut up. Shut up. Like, go read a book and actually have a knowledge. Don't just rely on freaking Twitter or for freaking Facebook for your information. Actually do the research and actually look through. He didn't create modern football. Shut up.
KC here says Kante in great over Busquets. Are you kidding me? Put that style merchant in overrated.
Relax.
I think he means Matuidi and Pogba were better than him. So I have to respect the super chat here because it's giving me a direction. So let me just go to this list here. Kante is down and out of great. He goes into underrated. And Busquets, where is Busquets? I can't even find his face. There he is. He's been moved up into great. Case done the swap there on Busquets. We have got to make some moves. Like Iron Robin has also been moved up into great as well. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes.
6, 8. There's only 2 spaces remaining in great as we do this. There was a super chat earlier from Rocket who's put him in there. Next up, I'm going to go back to Hussam and I'm going to give you. Actually, we're now down to like all the people that could actually be GOATs. We're going to give it a break for a minute. And what we're going to do is look at some of the potential future GOATs. This is quite a quick thing to do. So I'm going to name you a young player and you're going to say either in the bin or future GOAT. That's the only 2 categories for these young lads. It's the only 2 categories for these young lads. So Hussam, I'm going to start with you and I'm going to give you Saka.
In the bin. I don't think he'll ever hit those heights. If we're being completely serious, there are way too many serious footballers in this category to actually go to Saka. So Haaland, Mbappe, etc. You can't put Saka in the same category. Yeah. So Saka gets in the bin.
Okay. Next up, I'm going to go to Tom, and Tom, I'm going to say to you, Phil Foden.
I mean, Phil Foden, I feel, will be the Neymar of the next generation. He'll be really good. He'll be up there. But I just think there'll be a couple players just better than him. So I'll put him in future GOAT, but I don't think he'll ever win.
You think Phil Foden is going to be as good as Neymar?
I think no, not as good. I'm saying in the next generation of players, he'll be looked at as a Neymar of that thing. So he'll be up there as one of the best players, but because there's just 2 or 3 players better than him, he'll never win the top honours.
Okay. Next, I'm going to go to Neeks. And Neeks, I'm giving you Jadon Sancho.
Yeah, future GOAT. Future GOAT. I mean, what he's been doing already as a young player, he's up there with the rest of the young players, so or above. So if we're talking about the future when they're all at their prime, etc., then he has as good a chance as anyone, barring maybe 1 or 2, to actually end up in that conversation. So yeah, future GOAT.
Future GOAT for him. I'm not too sure where David's gone again. I'm going to go to Have Hope next and give you Erling Haaland.
Future GOAT. Yeah, I mean, I think based on how many goals this guy has scored and how young he's been and just how good he is as a striker and how clinical he is, I think he's definitely getting in the safe for me. Future GOAT.
Future GOAT for him. I think that's fair. Hussam, back with you again. I'm going to give you Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz, can he be a GOAT?
As unfortunate as this is, I do think Kai Havertz is possibly a future Ballon d'Or winner. I'm being completely serious. I think if he just tunes out a few things in his game, he might prove to be it eventually. It's 50-50. Like he might get into that category, but because he might get into that category, and I do really like him as a player, I'm gonna give him future GOAT.
I think that's fair, to be honest with you. I think that's fair. I think that's a good shout as well. There's a super chat here that says Wayne Rooney is overrated. England and United's top goal scorer, defended like crazy. He sacrificed his game over and over again to let others score. Move him to great. Wayne Rooney is being taken from overrated and moved into the great category, which means
that's the thing, though. That's what goes against him, because he did all that early on in his career. He struggled past 30 because his body was just giving up. It couldn't keep going. That's why I feel he's a great player. But if you're trying to pick hairs, I do hear you.
I do hear you on that. I do hear you on that. Final, there's just 2 young GOATs to go. I'm going to go with David first of all and give you Mason Greenwood.
Oh my gosh, I'm really torn about this kid, you know. I'll put him in future GOAT. I'll put him there, but just.
And the final one, we're all going to put Mbappe in there, aren't we? No one's going to disagree with Mbappe. There's no point even asking about that one. So we're into the home straight now, and we'll take a little look up on the screen for who we've got moving into this now. We look at the greats there: Rooney, Robben, Busquets, Giggs, Henry, Muller, Cole, Bobby, Carlos, and we've got the next 6 names we're bringing out the hat. I almost feel like they're all going to get put into GOAT, and then we're going to have to vote them out if we're being absolutely honest with you. Like for me, it's going to be so difficult to narrow this down. So I'm going to go first of all to Neeks on this, and Neeks, I'm giving you Maradona.
Maradona for me is overrated. No, I'm joking. Relax, Hassan, relax. You can...
Bro, after some of David's shouts, like I'm just ready to go. But anyway, go.
No, I would put Maradona in legend. Actually, I don't have Maradona as my goal. I never have, and I don't think I never will now because there's other players that have come since. Great achievement he had with Argentina, Napoli. I mean, the Napoli one has to be questioned. Like Don Corleone and them man were doing business over in Italy. It would not surprise me if there was a bit of money that passed hands for him to win Napoli their first league title. But not to take anything away from it, is what it is. A lot of people have him as the GOAT. He's not my GOAT, but he was one of the greatest players of all time. But I'll put him in legend. Arguably, maybe the greatest number 10 ever.
Yeah, I understand where. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one with Maradona. Like, and I like the English don't tend to. It's funny. Like a lot of people get at the English for hating on him for the handball, and it's like you should get over it. I'm like, but that's. I used to agree with it, and I was like, but that is kind of football. Like now that he's obviously he's passed. Like I'm over it. I think when he was alive, it was always good to have a bit of banter with it. And I suppose people take banter a little bit too far. Like I wouldn't disregard his quality for that handball. Still don't like him for that handball, but do you know what I mean? He was such a great player. I'm going to go to Hussam next, and I'm going to give you Ronaldinho.
I think out of the 5 players remaining, Ronaldinho is probably last on that list. I think Pele, Maradona, Ronaldo, and Messi are ahead of him. And the only argument that goes against him is longevity. In my honest opinion, I feel like if Ronaldinho performed at the level that he did for 10 to 15 years and actually dominated football, we'd have a totally different conversation. You could say the same as well, to be honest, about quite a few Brazilian players of that era. You know, and we know why off the field stuff led to them, you know, not keeping their level and stuff. There's plenty of stories about it. I think Ronaldinho gets into the category just below GOAT, and I think that's the level he should be at, because I don't think he is the GOAT. And if in my honest opinion, I don't think he gets into the GOAT conversation either.
I mean, the longevity thing is definitely going to be one that comes up. It is. Gio here with a comment says, big up, have hope on the stance of Cruyff. He disrespected Milan in 1994 before the game, and Desailly bent his team over. Is what Gio has got to say there. Gio, obviously, a big Serie A fan there as well. I'm going to David next. David, I'm giving you Zinedine Zidane.
Sure.
Listen, David. Do not and you fall out.
Do you know the thing is about Zidane, Mike?
David, relax. See,
No.
I don't even like how you even started this whole thing.
I know I'm young, right? I ain't watched.
Well, grow old.
I ain't watched much of him. I'm a big numbers person.
Get this wrong.
His numbers aren't the greatest. I'll put him in. Oh, wait, how many people can we have in Legend?
6. It's full.
Okay, he can go. It's full.
Yeah, but we'll fill it and then we'll work it out later.
Yeah, he can go in Legend. But
it can go in Legend. It's Legend minimum. It's Legend minimum.
He can go in Legend. He was lucky he didn't sneak into greats.
No, I'll do. I'm going to have to extend these groups even further. If I'm being honest, I thought we'd be able to narrow it down. It's going to be even harder. So what we'll do, we'll go up to 10 in Legend and up to 12 in GOAT. That's what we'll do. I've got to do it because it's actually 12
in great. 12 in great.
12 in great.
12 in great, and then 10 in Legend. That's what we go up. We can go up to that amount if we need to. I'm going to go to Ziad. World Cup. He's been waiting backstage. I think Tom's internet finally died. Someone says, Terry, why no Platini? Why would you? Scumbag. I'm only messing. I'm going to get you straight. I'm going to throw you in the deep in here, Ziad. I'm giving you the man who scored about 7,000 goals in friendlies, Pele.
It has to be GOAT, no? It has to be because it honestly has to be, because when we're talking about these kind of players, if you don't put them in the GOAT, it's too disrespectful to them. And yeah, friendlies, long time ago, time has changed. But what this man done, the amount of goals he scored, he's got to be in the GOAT. There's no question.
Pele's been put into GOAT. We have to debate that one. He's
What?
a fraud. Hang on,
He's a fraud.
Pele's a fraud. Pele's a fraud.
I can't respect a man who goes on his Instagram, who he doesn't even run probably, right? And then goes, I actually scored 1,000 goals, mate. I can't respect it. Respect went.
I'll just say, can I just say on Pele? Pele is one of the most disrespected footballers by the modern football fan. And it's actually, I didn't watch him, but I grew up respecting Pele because I respect my elders and I respect what the generation before told me about the impact that Pele was having. And even if you then take that and you go look back yourself, Pele with the Santos team, because people are Brazilian farmers. Well, them farmers were turning over the European champions year after year in the Intercontinental Cup. His record against European teams is absolutely phenomenal. His record in the World Cup, I think he got 144 goals in 135 games against European teams. So who were the farmers? Was it the Brazilians or was it the Europeans? He got 12 and 12 in World Cups, 77 goals in internationals, the youngest player to score in a World Cup final, first teenager to do it. And he's got 3 World Cups, granted the second one he was injured. But listen, Pele is a GOAT. Pele is the GOAT when all is said and done. Would he survive in this era? Football has changed. Sports science has changed. I don't think anyone in the old era would survive in this era because of those things. But listen, what he was doing in 1960s and 70s.
I think one thing you've said there that resonates is how good like South American football was in that era compared to what it is now. Now they're all in Europe from a very young age. A lot of them don't even come through the system properly. And Messi was bought at I know he's Argentinian, but I'm saying South American in general. He was bought young. Look how early the Real Madrids and so forth tied up the likes of Neymar was tied up to Barcelona. Look at the guy, he hasn't made it, but Vinicius. Look how early I remember buying Football Manager and he was like, literally, it was like the transfer's going through in 3 years' time. It was like those deals are tied up long in advance now. So what he did was still class. He is disrespected because we are using now the standard of, it's like Scottish football. People don't respect what Fergie did with Scottish football in the 70s and 80s because they look at it as being trash and crap now. It's like, nah, back then, like Scottish football was serious, but we kind of forget that. But that's where he's been placed. We've got a few more to do here. I'm going to come to you next, Have Hope, and I'm giving you R9.
What's it called? Legend. Like there's no discussion. Legend minimum. Like I don't want to hear any discussion about it.
I'm surprised. I thought he was your GOAT.
Oh, the GOAT is Maradona. Maradona is the GOAT. R9 is a legend. Like if I want to be personal, then if I want to be objective, the objective GOAT is Maradona. Like hands down, there's no he is the GOAT. But no, for me R9 because I actually don't know Ronaldo. There's a dude called Cristiano. And there's a dude called Ronaldo. So for Ronaldo, I think he was the first. After Pele, he was the next superstar of football, where he was so much of a superstar. There was a FIFA game that couldn't even use his name because his name was actually trademarked. If he didn't have that knee injury, there would be no Lionel Messi and Cristiano with their no goals in World Cup knockouts fraudulent salesman. So, and you have to remember, 2002, this guy entered that World Cup after his knee exploded, but based off of his great nature, was able to lead his country to a World Cup victory, scoring the only goal in the semi-final and both goals in the final. Messi and Cristiano, please take lessons from what a great should be doing. A legend.
I'm coming to David next, and I'm giving you Lionel Messi.
I knew he was going to do that. I mean, he is actually the GOAT. I'm sorry.
No, he's not.
No, again, for me, it's between him and Ronaldo. And the only reason you vote Ronaldo, like Cristiano Ronaldo, because you're a Man United fan, you're a Real Madrid fan, or you look at yourself in the mirror in the gym. Those are the only 3 people that rate Ronaldo over Messi. Messi is by far head and shoulders best player in the world. I don't need to elaborate. Like he's going to win a Ballon d'Or again this year. And the guy's like 30. 33 or something. Like it's ridiculous. It's genuinely ridiculous. I mean, again, everyone was talking.
You're young, man.
No, but everyone's like, he hasn't won international trophy. Please, he's won that now.
Guys, we'll get into the debate in a minute. We'll do the placements, the debate, and the viewers come in. It makes more sense. Otherwise, we speak about these things before we. Neeks, where are you putting Cristiano Ronaldo?
If we're going to put Messi in goal, then you have to put Cristiano in goal because Cristiano is the greatest player of his generation. The greatest player of his generation. I didn't say the best. I didn't say the most technical, even though he was great technical, but he's the greatest player of his generation in terms of deliverance on the field, achievements off the field. He's the greatest of his generation. So I'll put him right up there. We can debate it later.
So
how can you be the GOAT?
one second. So we look at this, and there's three people that have been placed into GOAT. Is in Pele, Ronaldo, and Messi. Like, how do we differentiate this? Because for me, I have to be really blunt and honest. Who you prefer to watch doesn't quite cut it for me. Like, it just doesn't. My favorite singer of all time has only sold about 5 million records. I think they're better than every other artist that's ever existed, but they're bloody not, are they? Right? So preference can't come into this. What are we assessing this on? Longevity, goals, trophies, individual accolades, how many leagues you've done it in? Like, what are we looking at here?
So, I mean, my suggestion is this. I mean, like, and again, let's everybody throw in their criteria. My criteria would be, what have you done in the highest form of the club game? What have you done in the highest form of the international game? Which is why, for me, Messi and Cristiano can't be there because they've not won the World Cup. So if they've not achieved that, so they've not succeeded in the highest form of the international game. So the only guys that we can talk to are obviously Pele, World Cup, and obviously back then the European trophy that he won, Zidane, and I would throw in Maradona, because even if he didn't win the Champions League, based on what he did for Napoli, which is an insane degree of difficulty, I just think that's for itself already for me supersedes any kind of European trophy based on what he did for Napoli. They've only won the Scudetto twice in their career, and that was in the 2 years that he was there. So for me, the only guys that should be in this conversation are Maradona, Pele, and Zidane.
And did Maradona win the UEFA Cup with Napoli as well?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I'm not sure.
I think individually, though, when you look at all three, there's one guy levels above individually. When you look at one person who could do it all, and one person who's just literally like a gift from God to humanity, there's only one person on that list.
Who?
That I think, and I can't believe we were 1 hour and 45 minutes in, and me and David have agreed for the first time. So I think that's a sign. I think Lionel Messi is the greatest of all time in my opinion. I think, having watched this guy,
what
guy
do you do in the Copa
is
America
the definition.
Final?
Bro, can I finish?
That's ridiculous.
This guy is the definition of next level footballer. I think the one thing, I always measure them as individuals. I remain consistent. I think with all of them, the one thing to me that I didn't even need anything else after that. I didn't need the Copa America. I didn't need the World Cup. I didn't need anything. That calendar year where he scored 91 goals, I was like, it's over. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to see anything like this ever again. The 1 year where he scored 91 goals in a calendar year, I was like, okay, guys, time to wrap this up and, just put the good stuff to the side. I think Messi is next level footballer.
This is why I can't even respect the talk about, he's 7 Ballon d'Ors or 6, because this is what football's boiled down to in the last few years. How many goals you scored. It doesn't matter who you've scored it against, doesn't matter the context, doesn't matter what it's actually led to. It's purely about how many goals you scored. 2010, Messi should not have won the Ballon d'Or. It should have been Wesley Sneijder, or at worst, Iniesta.
Yeah.
2013, Ronaldo should not have won the Ballon d'Or. It should have been Frank Ribery. 2019, Van Dijk should have won the Ballon d'Or. But Messi scored more goals, Ronaldo scored more goals, and therefore they win the Ballon d'Or. Prior to Messi and Ronaldo's insane goal scoring, you had Kaka, Cannavaro, Pavel Nedved, etc., winning Ballon d'Ors, and it wasn't based on how many goals or how many assists you got. It's
Figo, Rivaldo,
about what you did in those crucial clutch moments. And yes, as a club footballer, as I've always said in previous streams, Messi is the greatest club footballer of all time, you might argue. But football doesn't start and stop with club football. And yes, he's now won the Copa America, which is one of the worst Copa Americas I've ever watched in my life in terms of quality.
It's facts. It's facts.
Fred was
I can say the 2006 World Cup was one of the worst.
Let him land.
Fred was balling out at that Copa America. The quality was poor, but I'm not going to take it away from him. However, when we're talking about the greatest of all time, prior to Messi and Ronaldo, Cristiano that is, we always looked at World Cups. Not necessarily always winning it, because it's hard to win it, but what you did at those World Cups. Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi have done nothing at the World Cup worth speaking about to say you are the greatest of all time. That best player award that Messi won in the World Cup 14 should never have been given, because after the group stages, he wasn't even the best player for Argentina, let alone the best player in the World Cup. So for me, great players, both Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi. But unless you're doing it at the highest level, which is the World Cup, I have to put asterisks. I have to.
Listen, guys, sorry, Havo. I think you make some great points there, and I think there's so many elements to this that make it a difficult conversation. I do agree. You know, what have they done in knockout stages of World Cups? Both of them. You know, we saw at the last World Cup. You know, when Ronaldo got that hat trick against Spain in the group stages, you're thinking he could go on to have a ridiculous level World Cup here. But then what we've also seen is Sir Alex Ferguson said this about a decade ago, that the quality of the Champions League is probably of overall football is higher now than that of the World Cup. And what we've seen and then when Cristiano Ronaldo is in one of the best teams in the Champions League, like what he has done goal scoring wise in that competition is absolutely astronomical. So I understand that some people now in the modern day era focus and look at that. Pele's era, though, Maradona's era, the World Cup was the pinnacle. It was the very best competition from an overall quality point of view. We're all moaning about World Cups these days, that there's a lot of cannon fodder in them and everything else. But the reason
can I respond to your points, Terry?
Yeah. I'm just trying to set this up for the viewers. The viewers, we've got about 10 minutes remaining. We're going to vote now, after Have Hope speaks, on who we want to put into the GOAT. I'm going to let the panelists vote, and majority rules. We have a few super chats. We've already moved people about. Some people have got a book on their name and they can't be moved out of these categories. If you want to super chat in now, though, and pick your GOAT, pick your legends, pick your greats, move someone in the bin, do whatever you want to do. Get those super chats in now. You've got 10 minutes remaining, or forever hold your peace. Have Hope, over to you.
You see, this is what annoys me when people say, oh, the World Cup is no longer the pinnacle. It's now club football. Because then you can't have your cake and eat it. So if the World Cup is therefore not the level of club football, and it's therefore easier, then why haven't either Messi or Cristiano scored a single goal in a World Cup knockouts game? So for all those 91 goals that Messi scored in that year and so forth, you've not been able to manage a single goal in a World Cup knockouts game, where you obviously know when you now come to the knockouts, it gets much more difficult. So for that hat-trick that Cristiano scored against Spain, amazing. Against Uruguay, remember, Portugal were the defending European champions, and this is the World Cup is now ruled by Europe now. What did you do when you faced against Uruguay? I know what Edison Cavani did, and we can go back and look at 2014 when Argentina were given the perfect route to win it through. I know what Mascherano had to do, where he almost splits his ass in two to block that ball from Robin in that semi, where Messi was a ghost, and I saw Messi be a ghost again in the final. So the issue with this is that when we talk about greatness, this is not about best. If we're talking about best, for me, best Messi is top three. When it shows as quality, greatness for me has to be about degree of difficulty and what you do in a high pressure moment and when things aren't really going your way. Hence why what Maradona did in '86, he made something happen. So
I do agree. I do agree with large parts of what you've said, but at the same time, you have to factor in who is in your team and who's around you.
Exactly.
What nationality you are, because Jules Best, again, there's so many other players that could have been on this list. Jules Best did everything he needed to do at club level, but it didn't matter how much pressure he could handle, he was never going to deliver a World Cup or a Euros because the team wasn't around him. The one thing I would say is this: I noticed this with Wayne Rooney's pomp. We used to always get this criticism of Wayne Rooney. Why doesn't he deliver for England like he does Man United? And my response was always very simple: show me how that England team plays football as beautiful and as fluently as Man United do. The style of football then changes massively. The way Portugal play football, for me, especially the last couple of years, I was watching them last night. I mean, Ronaldo only scored that brace last night because he can jump bloody high. And
but Terry,
they were hoop balls into the box.
They were defending European champions, man.
Hey, but actually, Ronaldo scored 2 last night because he's one of the greatest of all time. So, regardless of the situation you're in, the greatest always rise to the top. If we're talking about the great, so Rooney, yes, he struggled in the England side because it wasn't as good. But then you have to argue, well, was he as good because he couldn't rise above the struggles of the England side whenever he wasn't in his name?
If it wasn't for Higuain, Messi would be a World Cup winner.
I think he can. I think he can. But it's a team sport, and you do need people around you to elevate you at times and to support you. And if you're not getting I've watched Argentina, and I'm defending both Messi and Ronaldo here. I've seen both of them at tournaments where I'm thinking, where's the movement and creativity around them? They can't be expected to do it by themselves all the time, because these other greats you're talking about didn't do it by themselves. Like all those other players you're mentioning were in amazing teams. You know, Pele didn't do it in a team where we don't remember the names of the other players. Like some of Pele's teams, do you know what I mean? Like,
let me give you an example. France won the World Cup in 98. Won the Euros in 2000. Obviously, Zidane scored, etc., etc. Got knocked out of the group stages in 2002. Turmoil. They dragged Zidane back out of retirement. And as good as the names of the players were around him, that France team should have been nowhere near the final.
So you have to
Zidane didn't win the World Cup that year, but he was the best player in the tournament easily. And at the age he was, 36, maybe what it was, dragged that team to the World Cup final. So even in the bad situation they're in,
I get that. But let Ziad go. Go on.
Yeah, just in terms of Messi and Ronaldo, in terms of carrying their teams and what teams they're around. When you're looking at Messi, I'm sorry, but the teams he was around were never that good. When he won the best player in the World Cup 2014. How many times did he set up Higuain for chances? Yeah,
do it yourself. Don't rely on others. Do it yourself.
But there's a certain amount Messi can do and one player can do. And yeah, the Copa America might.
He had a 1v. No, don't do that. Don't do that. In that final, he had a 1v1 that he messed up.
Because of one chance,
but overall, Germany by far had a better team. Germany
Give me a break. No.
Because of one chance, his whole tournament goes down the bin.
No. But Sissy, this is the point I wanted to make to Terry, is that people you use the thing of like, oh my gosh, Messi and Cristiano, look at the players that had around them, or look at the players that Ronaldo had. People say, oh, Ronaldo had an amazing team in 02, so therefore, how hard was it? No, watch the games. Watch that game against Turkey. Turkey outplayed them in that semi. Watch the finals. Germany outplayed them.
And I understand that. And look, you need make great points, but I still think there is this element of how good is the team around that individual. How good is that squad around them? And it can't all be. I say that because I'm consistent in this in all my football approach. I also don't like it when a team does really, really well and everybody says, you're just a one-man team. I refute that. When Man United won the league in 2013, I hated the accusation that Van Persie made us win. It was all Robin Van Persie. That was nonsense. He was putting the goals in, but he had to be supplied. You know, we spoke about Man United this last few years. We take the club level where we talk about it consistently. Oh, yeah, we've got a number 9 striker, but we don't have the creativity. Well, we don't need the creativity if we've got a prolific striker, do we? No, you need someone to create those chances for you. You need somebody to be that creative spark. You need the team to be conducive. Otherwise, Lampard would have won the Champions League with the same squad that Tuchel did. Sometimes the management, sometimes the personnel is needed. Why now do we fancy Man United's chances more for the league than before we signed Ronaldo and Raphael Varane? Because we've got a better team. Like I don't think we should discount the quality of the team at particular times. However, I do understand the need for these players to deliver in major tournaments. They've both done it now, Copa and Euros, not at World Cups. Messi still got a chance. I don't see Ronaldo doing it, not if their manager's in charge. But we've got about 5 minutes of the show left to go. We had a big super chat come in here. Messi is the only GOAT. So Messi has been voted in here by the viewers as the only GOAT right now. And it's going to cost at least £17 to get him out. It's going to cost £17 to get him out of that position. The viewers have spoken. The viewers have had their say there on that one. We've got a few more super chats to go to. I don't want to miss these. The World Cup can't be the barometer because it depends on the quality of the team around them. They have to get in at the right time, I think is what he's trying to say there. Sorry, we've added Hussein back to the show. I don't want to miss these super chats before the end. Terry, it's a team game. Sorry, football is a team game, and the kind of players Pele was surrounded by were mad good. CR7 and Messi with half their teams of jobbers. Half the team of jobbers. I don't really get that saying. Still won major trophies. Let's keep going with these super chats. World Cups happen once every 4 years, and their teams have never been favorites in any of those World Cups. The consistency of those two have shown every week for around 12 to 13 years is ridiculous. They are the GOATs. Name players in the Argentina World Cup winning team. Diego Maradona is the GOAT. That's from Daniel there. He's eating into that there. Oh, we've had a big one come in here, though. Casey says Argentina with Maradona had one of the best defenses. I can't pronounce that word. Copa something.
Libertadores.
There we go. Thank you, gents. Winners when that was above the European Cup. Also, Rivaldo gave life. Who's LL?
HH.
Lose. Sorry. Rivaldo gave life to R9 in 2001. But we've had a massive turn of events here as we go into the final couple of minutes. N'Golo Kante has been put into GOAT. N'Golo Kante has been put into the category. Always step up. Where is he? He's been put into GOAT. Messi's out of GOAT. Oh, we've got 2 minutes to go and Messi's been kicked out.
That's incredible.
Terry, I'm a big CR7 supporter, United supporter since I was a child, but he shouldn't be a GOAT. Shouldn't a GOAT uplift the team? Same argument applies to Messi as well. And I don't disagree with the argument. I think they have uplifted their teams at times. I'm not too sure who dropped out now. We've got another super chat here. Can't believe you guys are arguing over this. Messi, Ronaldo, Zidane, Maradona, and Pele, all GOATs.
Get over this. I'm sorry.
I get your point. But we're trying to pick one overall GOAT, and we're trying to. It's so hard. If you do eras every 10 years or whatever, it's a lot easier to do. That's, by the way, that's what's going to happen. We're all going to be old men in 30 years, and they're going to change these arguments and do it like decade at a time, so that everyone can be a GOAT. But thank you for that super chat, brother. We've got a minute left remaining. Oh, Messi's back on top. No one's gone for Cristiano Ronaldo yet. No one has gone for Cristiano Ronaldo.
Because he ain't.
When it comes to Messi and Ronaldo, the argument is simple. When they were both in the same league with the same quality of team, one was clearly better.
No. Look at their stats, and Messi, their goal to game ratio was pretty much identical. And at the same time, Ronaldo won 4 Champions Leagues, and Messi won. I want to say 1, or it could be 2. No. What did he win? They won it in 2011 and 2015.
2.
2011,
while he was there?
While he was there. 2011, 2015.
Yeah, 2.
Messi's been outperforming him. Ask Barca fans, ask Madrid fans. He was getting out.
Oh, right at the
Messi's
last
been carrying.
moment. Cristiano Ronaldo wins. Oh, he wins. You can get him in before. Oh, wow. Look at that. Maria Williams puts Cristiano Ronaldo in. I will give it another minute, because I don't want to be sitting. I'm going to literally give it until I get this across. I don't want to seem like I'm cutting it off because Ronaldo's in. But equally, people say those super chats at the last minute. And there's another one. There is another one here.
Oh my God.
There's one here. CR7 is king. It's going to cost at least £10 plus to get him out of it. He's got a £10 bounty on him now. And what have we had come in here? And I'm going to count down the final 10 seconds in a minute. R9 should be the GOAT conversation. Listen, he's definitely been in the conversation tonight. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. Oh, no. Literally in the last 10 seconds. Messi is back on top. And we've got to count it down. Someone do me a favor here. David, count down 20 seconds for me. 20 seconds and it's over. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Kante is in. Kante wins it.
This is ridiculous.
Oh
man.
my
God! This is ridiculous.
N'Golo Kante.
Come on, David.
Kante.
That's ridiculous, man.
That's not me, by the way. I love how no one put any money for Gerrard. I love that. Liverpool fans acting like FSG themselves.
Who the hell put Gerrard in the bin? Honestly,
I don't know.
David
with
zero footballing IQ put him in the bin.
I don't know who did that. I really don't. That's really embarrassing.
David.
Of course it's you mug.
What? Win a league and we can have a conversation. Till then, don't want to hear it.
Oh, he has won a league, bro. He has won a league.
Boring, bro.
Terry.
Man lost 3-0 to Jason Punching, fam. Allow that.
Okay, there we go. Sorry,
Terry, it's official.
So stupid.
Look at my screen. Share my screen. It's official.
Hey, there he is. Number.
He's got the 7. He's got the
He got
7.
the 7. Oh,
I'll
I
take
even
on
think
that.
he got booked. I think he even got booked last night on purpose so he could come home early as well. There we go. CR7 in the house. You love to see it. You love to see it. Just a great.
Sorry, are we doing this again?
I know we've done the
For the
debate now.
second
And I know we've done the debate and everything now, but like I said it before, I say it again. For me, I put Ronaldo as the greatest, and one of the things that that puts him above other people for me is just the amount of leagues that he's done it in. And I mean this now, right? If he comes into Man United this summer, he's one of or the top goal scorer and/or PFA Player of the Year, which I think he could win. And will you win a league title? He surpasses Messi, and I tell you why. Because outputs matter and deliverance matters. Because it doesn't matter now what Messi does. Messi's in officially the 6th biggest league only. The 6th biggest league only. Now they've been voted down to 6th. Ronaldo's in the best league. If Ronaldo scores 20 goals this season and wins the Prem, and Messi scores 30 goals and wins League R, it's not a comparable achievement. It's like me knocking out Jake Paul and considering it to be and comparing it to me and comparing it to Neeks knocking out Canelo. Like, you're talking a difference in level here. Like, this is why I think Ronaldo's come back. I think Ronaldo's view is he's taking a gamble because we could finish 5th, and he scores 10 goals and he looks stupid. But I want to get your opinions on that before a big super chat has just come in that I want to go to as well. Like, if Ronaldo comes in and is top goal scorer, one of the best players in the league, and Man United out of nowhere win this Premier League, and he's done it again at 36 at that level, surely that, at least domestically, puts him above everybody else that's played in Europe.
No,
I think.
Why though? Why?
Because I already think you're favourites. I've said it for weeks now. I genuinely think.
But it's because of Ronaldo.
If Messi had joined, I'd say the same thing.
But the point is, David, like, I get you're saying they will be favourites because they joined, but the question Terry's asking is if they deliver. You believe they're going to deliver.
If he delivers, I for me personally, I just think the gap is too big. That's just me personally. I don't think it's a conversation between Messi and Ronaldo. That's me personally.
Same.
If he wins the league, it may become a conversation. But personally for me, I just think Messi is head and shoulders above him.
And also, let's not forget he's
Head
coming
and
into
shoulders.
No, but let's not forget he's coming into a very good United squad, and it won't be hard to deliver in that United squad. Look at the players.
Most people had this Man United team 3rd. Now they've got Ronaldo.
You finished second. You finished second.
In my opinion, he's coming into a very good squad, and for what I see, the way I see it, his only job is to score a goal. Everyone around him is going to do everything. He's just got to put the ball in the back of the net, and it's not going to be hard to do well on that squad. And that's why, for me, no matter what happens, Messi.
What I'm saying is,
fair
enough, but what I'll say is we haven't won a league title since 2013 and the Champions League since 2008. So you might think it's not a hard job, but it's obviously been hard for everybody else that's come in.
And that's the point Nietzsche's pulled on there. No one's been delivering for Man United. No one's done that. If he comes in, it's a big if. If he comes in and is Golden Boot winner in the Prem, and we win a Premier League, it shows what he has done. It shows that he has elevated us, helped elevate us to the next level, and made us win. And the point is, Messi. The only way Messi's moved to PSG does anything major for his legacy in the game is winning the Champions League with them. We all know, and I don't mean it disrespectfully to Messi, if he scores 35, 40 league goals, no one cares because it's League R. Everybody's imploring Mbappe to leave because Mbappe will never be in these GOAT conversations until he's out of that league. Doesn't matter what he does anywhere else because you need that bread and butter of your performances at league level. You need that so that people start to take you seriously. So the point I'm making is if Ronaldo over the next 2 years kills it again in the Prem at 36 and 37 and 38 years of age and wins trophies at the same time, I mean, heaven forbid, I'm painting hypotheticals here. If he wins a Premier League and a Champions League over the next 2 periods, he goes clear for me because it's about winning at the end of the day. When it comes down to all the arguments we have about our players, people just sat there a minute ago, David, and you're like, Gerrard can't be this because he ain't won a league title. But yeah, suddenly when it comes to Messi and Ronaldo, it's all about the nuance of how they look and how they play. Which is it? Like, I don't care about.
But Messi and Ronaldo won everything. Yeah, he won everything.
Both won.
You're not,
So
but you're missing my point. But what Ronaldo has done, he'll have gone to the top 3 leagues in Europe and in England twice. If he wins things, dominated it as a goal scorer and won everything while he's there. Messi ain't done that. Messi's gone from Barcelona.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. Yeah, but I don't count that against Messi though. I don't count it against him because he was meant to be a one club person. Obviously, his club prevented
I
that.
understand what you're saying. My view is this, right? You've got boxing, you've got MMA, right? And together it's combat sports. You've got an MMA fighter that wins at 3 weight categories in MMA and then goes across to boxing and wins legitimate world titles in 2 or 3 weight categories there. He's the ultimate combat fighter ever. He's better than anyone who's done it either sport because he's done it in both. Ronaldo's done it in all these different leagues. It gives him a feather in his cap that Messi, we don't know whether he can do it because he's never done it. You know, like you said earlier, like, oh, what if this happens? You're like, that's a hypothetical. I can't answer it. It's what Ronaldo's done would be unprecedented in football. And if he's the highest scorer ever and he's achieved things that nobody else has ever done, that makes him the best for me because no one else has done it.
I understand.
No,
I get you.
One sec. I've got some super chats before they disappear. Sorry. This says, I know I'm deluded, but I want young people to go study Cruyff, a system that created the likes of Lionel Messi, someone who creates a system that others can use to be great and not just for the glory on himself is my GOAT. I want all the smoke. One sec, mate. Yeah, I mean, to call Cruyff like overrated for me was just one of the weirdest things Have Hope's ever said. These guys look like they're at a funeral. CR7 to United has got people rattled. They haven't been voted the 6th until the 20th. Okay, they're still going 6th though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's going down. It's happening. Do you know what I mean? It's still not that great a league. We know it. I'm not being disrespectful to it. It just isn't. It isn't. Uber Eats sponsors it. Like, it's crazy. I mean, Messi's made it more popular, though. Have you seen the TV viewing figures in Gerrard Piqué's TV company? You've got the rights to it. Gerrard Piqué's coining that, bro. Shakira is well happy tonight. Thank you for that super chat. That means a great deal to me. Everyone that's tuned in, I could talk about this for another 3 hours. I love it. Everyone's opinions, though, are valid. Great logic being used as well. That's what it's all about. False equivalence, Terry. What's a false equivalence? I said a lot of things. Be specific with your criticism of me.
Probably talking about the boxing bit.
That makes sense to me. Because we all know that German football isn't the same as English football, is it?
Yeah, of course.
But it's still football.
Yes, but there are differences to it. That's why, you know, we know there are differences to the tempo, the style of play, the way the fans behave. So the game is the same by the same rules. So I get there is a difference in the equivalence that I'm making, but I was making an overarching point that if a man goes and dominates in the 3 biggest leagues, is a star player, wins everything while he's there, like, for me, it makes him the best. That's all I'm pointing out. That's all I'm trying to point out. Another super chat before we go. Loyalty is not a tax. It's a plus. That robotic dribbler Ronaldo went to top 2 clubs every time. Not Messi's fault that Pep couldn't wait one day for Grealish. I hear you on that one. Oh, come on, if Messi was here and Ronaldo at the same time, it'd be amazing. Hit that like and share button. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless.